Hi, Novak. I don't know if you saw what Vasek said last night about organising, and tennis could and should be even bigger than it already is. If only the people organising it were doing their job properly. He highlighted the balls, he highlighted playing late at night and then early in the morning and injuries. I just wondered whether you heard that, but also if you'd like to add something.
No, I haven't heard that. I actually saw Vasek just before I came here to see you guys, but I haven't seen his statement on that. But there's been a lot of discussions on the effect of the different balls and basically every week on the joints and the wrist and the shoulders and the elbows. And I think someone told me that in terms of injuries this year comparing to other years is drastically has gone up. So in terms of the balls, I absolutely agree. There should be some discussion on that. I actually spoke about that with Andrea Gaudenzi, the ATP president, and Massimo, who is the CEO, in Paris during the Paris-Bercy week. And I shared my opinion and my views, and then obviously they are thinking about various different options and ways of how to regulate that and how to make it better for the players and prevent injuries. In terms of the scheduling, I think there has been a lot of criticism and a lot of players complaining about it. So I think that should be addressed in a proper way. Obviously, Davis Cup and ITF is regulated differently from ATP Tour and from Grand Slams. You have different governing bodies, different schedules, different broadcasting demands. In the end of the day, we know that the TV is the one deciding, fortunately or unfortunately, but there has to be more, I guess, thorough discussions on that as well.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. It's just gone 5 o'clock local time in London, where this second men's semi-final is taking place. Djokovic is the first person to get on the board by winning the first point of this second men's semi-final. Let me know in the live chat how you see this one panning out. Is it going to be a straight sets win for either player? Is it going to be a 5-set humdinger? Do let us know. Also hit that like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. Let's maybe bring up a scoreboard for you. As Djokovic has a 15-love lead, as I already highlighted. Hope everybody is enjoying or enjoyed that first semi-final. Did it have a familiar feel to you? Here we go, scoreboard up there for you. Do get involved in the live chat as well. Nick will be joining us, I think, a little bit later on. I can see some excitement about his appearance, but it'll be a bit later on. From now, you've got to stick with me. Terry, long time, Terry. Great to see you in the live chat. Also, Julian, of course, was here first, and Jake there expressing his excitement over Nick's appearance. 15 all, by the way. Are we surprised that Musetti is in the semi-final? What do we think about that previous semi-final? As I say, a familiar feel perhaps for some of you. Carlos now in his second consecutive Grand Slam final, his second consecutive Wimbledon final. Is Musetti going to win the volley there? He's not, because Djokovic is going to chase that down and put a backhand pass that really he had no business to win that point. No business at all. 23 shots that rally was. Just going to nip to the kitchen a second, so going to rely on you people. But yes, regarding that first match, we did have David on the show just now, just talking about that. And for me, sets 2, 3, and 4 did have a very familiar feel. It did feel as though I had seen this movie before and was quite familiar with the script. Bit of jeopardy, perhaps, when Medvedev broke back in the 4th set and potentially forcing a 5th. But Carlos snuffed out the danger, as he so often does against Daniel. Now leading that head-to-head 5-2. Twice at Indian Wells they've played each other, and twice Carlos Alcaraz has emerged the victor. Twice at Wimbledon they've played each other, and Carlos Alcaraz has emerged the winner. Yes, imagining a Medvedev win on those 2 courts is pretty tricky. Of course, one of the 2 Medvedev wins that came was at the US Open at the semi-final stage last year. I'm coming back, ladies and gentlemen, from the deepest and darkest depths of my kitchen. What have I missed? Oh, 40-30. Medi lost intensity after the first set, says Terry. Bit of yogurt and berries. It's a nice backhand from Novak. He's definitely going towards that backhand of Musetti, thinking it can be attacked. Of course, it's a one-handed backhand. Not so many of those left on the tour. Quite a few empty seats for this second semi-final. Game point now for Novak. Did we lose Jake again? Nice serve down the tee from Djokovic. Got to have a Djoko smash. He doesn't put it away, but he does the volley. He doesn't like those smashes, does he? Anyway, doesn't matter. One love. Just having a little snack. Let me know if you're munching on something or drinking something. I know. Crowd's disappeared. Second men's semi-final at Wimbledon, including one of the legends of the sport. And the crowd is half empty. No, it'll just be... It's just the same as that second semi-final yesterday. $15 love here for Lorenzo. He's eased his way into this final. I mean, in this semi-final, number 25 seed. Djokovic there attacking that with second serve, although could have attacked it a bit more. That's a slightly tight forehand there from Musetti into the net. Just see a bit of strapping on the Lorenzo knee. I hope that's nothing to worry about. Lorenzo Musetti, Wimbledon final. I don't know. Not sure if I can see that. Even if he's just one match away from it. Djokovic there picking up the pace. That slice from Musetti. He's did a lot of slices in that previous game. And Djokovic errs. And it's 30-15. Okay, Musetti, first serve. Down the tee, it's an ace for Lorenzo, 40-15. And that's a nope, it's gone long that first serve. So second serve here for Djokovic to look at. Backhand return from Novak. Slice there from Musetti. Most of his backhands, I mean, I think probably as a percentage, I would say it feels like 70% of his backhands have been slices. Anyway, 40-30. Okay, 40-30. Can Musetti get his first serve in? Yes, he can. It's an unreturnable. He has held serve, and it's 1-game all. Terry, I bet I'm ahead of you today, right? You'll be saying in the chat something like, how do you get ahead? How is it John's ahead? Keep up at the back. 10 minutes on the clock for those two games. Of course, we had a deuce on the Djokovic serve, an unreturnable there. Large swathes of empty seats there. Yeah, Terry. Keep up. Yeah, TT Cobb, I'm not sure if that's the case. I don't think anybody who bought a ticket is now not going because of that. And if you begin an argument with people on Twitter said, then I think we're in trouble. Nice backhand down the line there from Novak. Well defended from Musetti, but he's going to have to do it again. And he's unable to do so. 30-love. So Novak here looking pretty comfortable. 30-love. And it soon becomes 40 love. You prefer me ahead than behind, do you, Terry? Okay. Bookmakers are saying this will only last for 3 sets. Down the tees, a good first serve there from Novak. Should win the point from here. Doesn't quite win it outright, but he does now. And it's 2-1 for Novak Djokovic. Early thoughts. Let me know in the live chat. Let's have a quick reflection on Nick's WTA power ranking.
Number 10, Mira Andreeva. Number 9, Madison Keys. Number 8 is Victoria Azarenka. Number 7, Marketa Vondrousova. Number 6, Ons Jabeur. Number 5, Jessica Pegula. Number 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Iga Swiatek. Number 2, Arina Sabalenka. And number 1, Elena Rybakina.
It's exactly the same as yesterday. It's exactly the same as yesterday. Is that because people didn't like Barbora Krejcikova? Of course not. To suggest that people have bought tickets and then just let them go on the basis of on its on-court speech is a little bit fanciful. I just find it very bizarre that people are so obsessed with this speech. Down the tee, backhand cross court from Musetti. He is 15 love up. Nice backhand up the line there from Novak. Drop shot Novak. That didn't really work. Is that going to land in? No, it's not. 30 love. Yep, exactly the same happened yesterday. People leave after a lengthy match like it was and don't come back sometimes. I'd be more focused on the issues that tennis has with empty stadia and trying to get tickets for these matches, because there will be millions of people around the world that would have loved to have attended this tennis match. It's a corporate issue. I was there for Taylor Fritz, Rafa Nadal, I remember, in 2022, and large sways of empty seats for a Wimbledon quarterfinal. Was it because of a Rafa Nadal on-court speech? Of course it wasn't. It was the same at the French Open in certain rounds. Yeah. Because tennis doesn't sell to tennis fans. There you go. Anyway, 30-15 here. And also it will gradually fill back up again. But we need some more changes of ends. Again, because tennis has this rule that you can't walk into a stadium until there's a change of ends. Has that slice gone wide for Musetti? I think it has. 30 all. Nice backhand down the line there for Musetti, 40-30. Is it because we're so conditioned to the two-handed backhand now that every time we see a one-hander, we're sort of worried? Swanner here saying this is Alcaraz's title to lose. Well, I think it very much depends on who he has to play in the final. Indeed, Ghosty. Totally unfair, totally wrong. KC, long time. Forehand return from Novak is gone wide, I think. And it is 2 games all. Slightly loose couple of shots there from Novak. Just going to dump my trash in the kitchen. So you don't get this on ESPN or BBC. Your commentator just disappears to the kitchen to put some trash away. Ghosty, do you like the fact that I'm adapting for you? I'm not calling it rubbish. I'm calling it trash. Garbage. Is that better? Let me know in the live chat, US audience people, if you're enjoying my multilingual skills as I flip between British English and US English with consummate ease. Two games all. Rubbish is too elegant. For those of you just tuning in, by the way, do hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Novak Djokovic here, 15 love up. Second serve. Okay, you like the word bin over can. Yeah, trash can, rubbish bin. Terry, yeah, I knew you would. Backhand return here from Musetti. Forehand from Djokovic into the forehand of Musetti, which goes into the net. 30 love. Do get voting in our poll as well on YouTube. Djokovic on the forehand, backhand cross court from Musetti, now on the forehand into the backhand of Novak. Novak yet to be in a final this year, goes for the drop shot, doesn't work, 30-15. This time, the drop shot has a lot more success for Djokovic, 40-15. Lots of greetings in the live chat. Keep them coming. 2 game points here for Novak Djokovic and a 3-2 lead. We've yet to see a break point on either serve thus far. We had a deuce on the Djokovic serve in the first service game. Gets a net cord there, does Novak. And that's a lovely backhand down the line winner from Musetti. Didn't get put off by that net cord. Smooth as you like. As smooth as silk, one might say. That first serve lands in. Joker smash. Doesn't put it away, but it doesn't matter because Musetti can't deal with the smash in the end. And it is 3 games 2. If it's a Djokovic-Alcaraz final, who is the favourite? What are we thinking? Somebody said in the live chat earlier, Alcaraz is to lose, which seemed a bit over the top to me if it is indeed going to be against Novak. Yeah, I think he ruffled a few feathers, didn't he, Ghosty? Let's say. I would make Alcaraz the slight favourite if it's against Djokovic. If it's against Musetti, pretty heavy favourite. Indeed. And by the way, I think he's made some pretty good strides in the last couple of years on the serve. I think, indeed, that's not too bad, is it? That's me talking about Alcaraz's serve. Okay, we're going to have another Joker smash here, but this one is super easy, and he puts that one away for love 15. So, first point going the way of the Serb, seeking his 8th Wimbledon title, a record equaling 8th Wimbledon title. And Musetti sprays that forehand wide. Love 30. Julian here saying Alcaraz, I reckon. Yeah, Alcaraz repeat of last year, suggesting Ghosty. Not sure if he can handle a repeat of last year, suggests KC. It was an epic. Okay, backhand to backhand right now. Now it's a slice from Musetti. Novak coming into the net. That's going to land in from Novak. That volley's going to land in too, and it's going to be too good. And we've got 3 break points for Novak Djokovic. Three break points for a 4-2 lead with a break, of course. Okay, Musetti to serve down the tee. Forehand return from Novak is good. Now Novak on the backhand, but he goes long, 15-40. 1 down, 2 to go from Musetti's perspective of saving these break points. Okay, Lorenzo. Another first serve, much required. He gets it. It's a decent return, though, from Novak. These slices are not really having a huge amount of effect, though, for Lorenzo, in my opinion. Lorenzo changing direction there, but so's Novak. Now it's a slice again for Novak, giving him time on the forehand. I just don't see this as being sustainable for Lorenzo. That's a nice forehand, though, from him. That's going to land in from Novak. Drive volley from Novak. Nice backhand there from Lorenzo, but that forehand's not going to land in. And we've got the break of serve for Novak Djokovic. 4-2 he leads. Does have a fairly ominous feel to it, doesn't it? A lot of talk about the Golden Globes. Also, in terms of Novak's return from injury, I think it's a similar injury to what, or similar surgery to what Taylor Fritz had a few years back, and he had a similar spell out, just sort of 2 or 3 weeks. Novak's draw has certainly helped ease him back into the tournament. He got a walkover in the previous round as well. Hurkacz didn't appear as his quarterfinal opponent either. Rune rolled over. The first 2 matches definitely were not about as good as they could get for him. So you put all that together, and here we are. And Musetti in the semi-final, I would argue there would have been tougher assignments potentially for him. And of course, don't forget that Carlos not repeating what he did at Queen's last year meant he dropped down the rankings to 3. So it put Carlos and Yannick and Daniil all on one side of the draw. Oh, I feel that it's ominous in terms of a Novak win in 3 or 4 sets. Goes down the tee, blocked return from Musetti. Good depth on that return. Now it's on the forehand of Lorenzo. Needs to stay on that forehand, I would argue, for as much as he can. Nice angle there, and Novak goes long. That was a really good angle that Lorenzo produced. $15-all. Goes down the tee, but it's gone wide. So second serve here for Musetti to look at. Hey, Snehil. Make sure you hit that like button, people, by the way. Indeed, Ashley, indeed. Okay, Novak to serve. Goes down the tee. Backhand return. Does feel like that'll be an obvious ploy, especially on that second serve to the Lorenzo backhand. Lorenzo really preferring that slice. Now on the forehand. Novak upping the pace there with that backhand. But there's too much height there on that one, and that's going to land long as well. 30-15. Lorenzo with far too much height on that previous shot, giving Novak a pretty easy volley, which meant Lorenzo had a very tricky pass on the run. $30-15. Down the tee from Novak. And Lorenzo couldn't make the pass, and it's 40-15. Does it have an ominous feeling to you, Julian? I'm just not enjoying these patterns of play from Lorenzo's perspective. It just feels as though it's looking pretty good for him. What a cultured return that was from Lorenzo. I have no idea who Hermant is, Nolan. But good of you to join us. Nolan, you're a bit of a Lorenzo Musetti fan, aren't you? Joining for Lorenzo's streams. Still waiting for an answer from Nerland from some of the questions I've been posing him. Good serve there from Novak, and indeed it goes out. So 5-2, Novak Djokovic leads. Looks like Ghosty's pleased to see you, Nerland. Indeed, indeed, Julian. I'm going to return to my kitchen to get some water. You might think to yourself, why do you keep doing so many journeys to the kitchen? Why not do it all at once? Well, it's not always possible. Only so many hands. Hola, todo bien. Estoy en directo. En YouTube. Okay. Djokovic there gesticulating to the crowd as I can see a replay. Musetti there also gesticulating in a slightly more negative fashion. See, Blue. Okay, Musetti here serving at 2-5 to stay in the first set. You had to Google it, did you, Ghosty? Okay. Down the tee. Now it's from the forehand of Lorenzo into the backhand of Novak. Is Novak going to chase that one down? He is, with interest. Lorenzo couldn't defend, and it is love 15. You think he'll come back to you, TT Cobb? I don't share your confidence in the Italian. Down the tee, forehand return. Backhand cross court is out from Lorenzo Musetti, and his love 30. Does it matter if Lorenzo loses his serve here? Maybe he's a relative of Snehil. You never know. Snehil, let us know. This is going to land out. 15-30. A mystery afoot. Posits Ghosty. Okay, 15-30. Musetti to serve. Into the net. No, I'm still picking Alcaraz. He's a slight favorite. Okay, now into the backhand of Novak. Are we going to have 2 set points for the Serb? Good defending there from Novak. Now on the forehand, 30 all. So no set points just yet. Yeah, I went for a Novak Alcaraz final with Alcaraz prevailing. I can tell you this, though. I did not have Krejcikova against Paolini in my women's final. Yeah, 55-45, actually. To the rally here, but that slice from Novak is going to go into the net. And he's annoyed at himself there. 40-30. Hugh Grant once again. He's back in his chair for the second semi. And unreturnable down the tee, and it is 5-3. So Musetti does indeed hold, but does it matter? Well, maybe not if Novak comfortably serves this out. Nerland has come and gone. His appearances are fleeting. Okay, Djokovic serving for the set. Musetti on the forehand. That's Djokovic on the backhand. Is that going to go long? No, it's not. Musetti, though, in charge of the rally, but can he keep it going? Yes, he can, with a wonderful forehand winner. Scott Barkley with a tweet about Novak Djokovic. I think you can guess which direction it was going in. Look at John, work time here, getting in on the action. 15 all, by the way. 70-30 Alcaraz, okay. That's big. That's big and it's bold. Nice serve there from Novak, but he's at the net now. Oh, Lorenzo, what choice was that? Bizarre, I would say. Letting Novak off the hook there, I would suggest. 30-15. Clipped serve there on the net. Second serve here from Musetti to look at. Backhand return. And the exchange and backhands again. It's a slice, though, from Musetti, and it goes into the net. The slice is not having the desired effect, and even more so when he just dumps it into the net like that. 40-15. Okay. First serve into the net, so a second serve here for Lorenzo to look at. Backhand return from Lorenzo. Now it's on the forehand of Lorenzo. Forehand from Novak. It's got really good depth on it. Has that clipped the line? No, it's gone out. So 40-30. Such a missed opportunity for the Italians, says Julian. I guess that's the point that I highlighted before. Backhand return, forehand from Novak, forehand from Lorenzo is big. And it's going to win in the point. So we're at deuce. 2 set points have come and gone for Novak. Slightly confused expression there from Novak. That chiseled face, barely an ounce of fat. Do you have a chiseled face, Ghosty? Okay, into the net on the first serve. Second serve here for Novak Djokovic. Forehand return from Lorenzo. That's kind of good news for him. Is he going to make that slice work? Well, it's okay. Now on the forehand Lorenzo, forehand Novak. Has that gone wide? It has. So we've got a break point now for Lorenzo Musetti. It was a really good forehand from him, arguably forcing the error. And it is advantage Lorenzo Musetti to get this first set back on serve and shove the words down on the throat of me when I said, does it really matter that he held serve in the previous service game? Remember, he was love 30 down in that service game. So, breakpoint Lorenzo Musetti. Djokovic to serve. Taking his time. Where are we going with this serve? We're going to clip the net and go wide. So it's a second serve. He was going to go to the Lorenzo backhand, and I think he'll go to the Lorenzo backhand again. Where are we going with this serve? Yes, we are going to the backhand. Backhand return. Now it's Novak on the backhand. Slice for Musetti. Sticking to that backhand. Is that slice going to land in? Yes, it is. Now we're on the forehand of Lorenzo. He's got good depth on that forehand, but Novak is very much still in this rally. Forehand to forehand exchange right now. Lorenzo Musetti puts a forehand winner down the line. And we're back on serve, ladies and gentlemen. Back on serve. TT Cobb there with some pena alla arrabbiata if he made this. He did indeed make it. Okay, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with you with Lorenzo to serve. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Matthew suggesting that Djokovic looks a bit sluggish. I do think the quality in this match is a step below what we've seen so far compared to the quality of the previous semi-final between Alcaraz and Medvedev. But I've seen Djokovic look sluggish a million times before in his career, and he's gone on to win. He's won the first point as well of the next game, so it is love 15 on the Musetti serve. Djokovic again, not far away from winning this set. Yeah, but you said he was going to lose the first set, TT Cobb, and he still might. Slice here from, yeah, that was not a ball that needed to be sliced at. And that may even be a deficiency of the one-handed backhand there, because it was going to be tricky to do either the slice or the one-handed backhand on that, given the proximity to his feet. Maybe as well, that was a poor footwork scenario. Either way, we're at love 30 and Novak is just 2 points away from winning the first set. And all that work to break serve will be gone to waste. It's going to be a second serve here at love 30. Novak Djokovic will be keen to attack this second serve. Can he do so? He's not going to need to because it's a double fault. And we've got 3 set points for Novak Djokovic. Love 40. I'll try and bring you some entertainment, Ghosty. Even if the match is a bit of a damp squib. Musetti here, serving. Gets the first serve in, but Novak deals with it. Drop shot. Is that going to be a good enough to win the point? Probably yes. 15-40. Julian there with an optimistic take on Lorenzo's strategy. 15-40. Again, we'll need another first serve here. It's going to go out wide, I guess, to the forehand. He was going that way, but it went into the net. On the second serve, I think he'll go to the backhand. Let's see. Yes, he does. Backhand return. Now it's on the backhand of Musetti. Now on the forehand of Musetti. Really good depth there from Novak. That's a good backhand from Lorenzo. Drop shot Lorenzo. Doesn't work. And Novak Djokovic takes the first set. 6-4. There you go. Musetti indeed. Djokovic will serve first in the second set. So, 52 minutes on the clock for this Grand Slam semi-final, this Wimbledon semi-final. Novak Djokovic seeking his 8th Wimbledon title. Remember, that would equal the singles record of Roger Federer, should he do so. He's 2 matches away. TT Gob there, a little frustrated in the chat, it seems. Just looking at some stats there. 0 double faults from Novak and 2 aces. There was a double fault from Lorenzo Musetti in that most recent game, which ultimately cost him the first set. Post first set thoughts. I would agree about Djokovic looking a bit sluggish, but he's quite happy to just pepper that backhand from Musetti, expecting it to either break down or give him a short ball. Okay, the wind is having an effect, is it? So the 2 ends where Musetti and Djokovic got broken was against the wind. Thanks, Jake. Can we keep Jake here long enough for him to answer questions in the live chat? I can go back. It happened on the previous stream as well. Look, here's a question for you from 1 minute after you were in the chat before, Jake. And you left him hanging. You left him hanging. Look, here's another one. Jake, as well, you were having some comments from Ghosty about Wales earlier. Partner in crime? Okay, Djokovic serving here. Love 15. And he's got that first serve in, I think. Yeah, 15 all. Okay, Djokovic out wide, but it's gone wide. So a second serve here for Musetti to look at. Where are you going with this one? You're going down the tee, backhand return, forehand from Novak. Now on the forehand of Novak, he's going to come into the net, but he doesn't put that volley away on the backhand side. Novak would expect to put that one more often away than not. 15-30. I guess it would be maybe for attempting to stop a murder. Nolan. Maybe, doing something against somebody very bad. So I'm basically doing a noble thing. Is that a double fault from Novak Djokovic? I was too busy answering Nolan's question. 15-40. 15-40. Maybe saying something against a royalty or somebody in power. Goes down the tee there, Novak. And that's not going to land in. So a good first serve there. 15-40 becomes 30-40. No, Snehil. No. Nolan, I do hope you've hit that like button, by the way. Djokovic here serving at 30-40. Into the net on the first serve. So a second serve here on the second break point. He's going to go to the backhand, you would imagine. Although he might go down the tee. Actually, I'm not so convinced here. No, he goes to the forehand in the end. But he's going to get a second forehand there. Is Novak. Novak going cross court here. We're having some slices from Musetti. Another one there. Now we're on the backhand of Novak. He's really cranked up the pressure. He's going to let this one bounce, isn't he? Oh, it lands in. What's going on here? This is a bit of a weird point. Where's it going to end? Is it going to end yet? No, because Musetti doesn't punish him there. But he does there with an excellent backhand winner down the line. And he's broken serve. Swarner, I think there was on the day of the Wimbledon men's final between Malavai Washington and Richard Krajicek, yes. But that was in the 90s. I see Nick lingering or lurking in the background. Whenever you're ready, Nick, but no hurry. Clutch serve, says Julian. Well, that was on the 15-40 point. Ashley here suggesting let's go. Nerlan not planning to hit. Nerlan, I'm still waiting for an answer from my question from yesterday. No, it was actually 2 days ago. It was during the Taylor Fritz match. Hey, Nick.
John, you're about to see an incredible end to that last point if you haven't already.
You mean, yeah, I have. Yeah. Oh, I'm streets ahead of pretty much anyone except Damien on the Talking Tennis stream this last
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's good to know.
I need to therefore adjust my stream so it's in sync with yours because I'll be ahead of you.
Well,
I've just seen
mind
the first point of the next game.
So they're just showing replays right now and slow-mo shots of the crowd. So I'm
actually ahead of TNNS.
Nice. I mean, we may as well keep to your speed.
No. What's better is if I press pause and then I'm back to where you and most of the people in the UK are. So that way it doesn't spoil.
Well, I'll let you know when I'm seeing a point taking place. I've got Musetti walking up to the baseline. I've got the total distance run graphic up.
Yeah.
He's bouncing the ball. First set up wide. Djokovic gets in play. Back behind winner.
Yep, 15 love. I'm actually seeing the next point, but I've got it on pause.
Okay. All right. Schwarder, to your comment, I actually don't drink caffeine, so this is all Nick. This is all my brain.
But you drink tea, right?
Oh yeah, just not very often.
Oh, really? Not that often?
Yeah, I'm seeing a rally now.
Yeah.
Got the line for backhand Djokovic, slice from Musetti, backhand Djokovic at the line, forehand Musetti cross court, Djokovic behind at the line. Djokovic is doing very well, changing direction. Now he's going for the drop shot. Musetti goes cross, and then what a backhand overhead from Musetti. That was a Hedman special.
I think we're about in sync now. I think.
Brilliant.
We'll
Okay,
find
so
out. We'll find. We're probably might be a second apart, but we'll be very, very close.
But yes, I find that I do drink tea sometimes, but I'm more of a herbal teas person.
That was spectacular. That backhand overhead.
That's probably the best backhand overhead I've ever seen.
It was nuts.
I mean, Musetti's playing crazy well right now. I have seen I have been able to watch kind of in the background the first set, and I mean, look, Djokovic is being Djokovic, right? And he's being incredibly hard to beat. But like Musetti's come out and he's playing well, and you can see why he's been able to irritate and even beat Djokovic over his career.
Regarding Snehill's comment here, I think it all depends on which country you're in and what feed you're going from. I'm very lucky that Amazon Prime in Germany are pretty much on the case. The worst one is Tennis Channel in the US. They are... when I have a US commentator who's watching on Tennis Channel, I basically cannot share a scoreboard from anywhere. I just have to update it on the screen. Oh, that's a lovely volley there from Novak.
Oh, so good. That's Djokovic showing his own volleying skills there. And this is a quality semifinal. Even like it could be very unfortunate that this match goes straight sets. It might not. Musetti might make it 5, but like like what I've seen so far has been really, really good stuff from both guys.
Yeah, I think it's been maybe a level below what we saw in the Medvedev-Alcaraz match. I think maybe the last 4 or 5 games it's picked up a bit. My concern is whether Musetti can keep that level up that he's shown in the last couple of games.
Which possibly concerned there, given that running forehands ended up in the tram line. So valid concerns there. I mean, the Medvedev-Alcaraz match I had on, but I couldn't pay close attention to. So it looked an entertaining battle.
It was good. Entertaining.
Medvedev, I thought, played really, really well. As well as he could. Great unreturnable serve from Musetti. Well, it's certainly the first set. But yeah, Alcaraz just seemed able to hit through him more often at the right points, essentially.
He also did break Medvedev's serve twice in the first set. It was just that, unfortunately, Alcaraz's serve, especially his first serve, in terms of landing in, was way off. As soon as that got rectified, come sets 2, 3, and 4, the dynamic changed. And I don't think Medvedev could have done much more, which is partly why I sort of say, look, the quality was pretty good. Novak goes long there with a forehand, and we've got a game point for Lorenzo.
Snell, I want to come back on the comment you just put in, because I find it interesting, because I think unforced errors can be frustrating. It depends if a match if there's still fewer unforced errors than like points won, no matter how many there are, it's probably a good match. And when the drama is high and sort of the ball striking is good, I think they matter less. I think unforced errors only matter in context. Oh, Musetti just missed that running forehand. Better than that other one that we watched, though, but it's back to deuce. But yeah, errors in themselves, if you judge a match by how many errors there are, then the vast majority of the tennis matches are going to be disappointing. Backhand from Djokovic who plays Djokovic as John's moving his furniture around. Backhand cross court Musetti at the middle court. Inside up forehand from Djokovic, sliced by Musetti to the backhand of Djokovic, sliced from Musetti. They're still going backhand to backhand right now. And Musetti nets that backhand. He tried to go for the top spin, put it in the middle of the net. Advantage Djokovic. Second break point.
It's not Tsitsipas levels, far from it. There's the comparison with Tsitsipas because it's a one-hander, but you know the backhand exchange, if it's going to be that kind of match, which Djokovic would love to make it that kind of match and has largely made it that kind of match, it's going to go the way of Novak. If it's like backhand to backhand cross court, Novak gets good depth on it, and then Musetti's in a difficult scenario, not knowing whether to slice or hit it with the backhand.
Because Djokovic is one of those players who's just immune to being sliced to death. Like other players you could use to disrupt or push back. Djokovic just is more than happy to live with that. And so if Musetti is going to do that,
Musetti has been slicing a lot, but I think it's just because he prefers it. It's not a tactic. It's just that he's got this particular ball that he feels more comfortable slicing on than attacking, if you like.
Well, the point still applies, though. Point still applies.
Novak will have no issues with it, and he didn't for the first 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, he just put that backhand wide, which he's frustrated with himself about.
I mean, listen, in terms of drama, Snail, from that previous semi-final, when there's doubt as to how the match is going to turn out, so I would say, of course, once Medvedev goes up an early break, you're like, okay, this is interesting. When he goes up a break again, you go, oh, okay, this is interesting. When he wins the first set on the tiebreak, you go, this is very interesting. Now, you might then say, you could argue that that was the last moment there was any intrigue. But of course, when Medvedev breaks back in the fourth, you go, okay, get a tiebreak here. But so there's a lot of intrigue and curiosity. I don't think Medvedev did much wrong. He did make it a bit more of a fist of it than he did at Wimbledon last year or Indian Wells this year. It's always going to be a tricky match for him, particularly on the grass courts of SW19.
Yeah, pretty much. We're back to juice, by the way, as we said he cannot get out this game, but he's just hit a lovely backhand up the line, which I think Julian saw about 30 seconds ago. With the Medvedev thing, I think that fourth set, from what I observed, and again, I wasn't watching very closely, it did feel like that fourth set wasn't obvious which way that was going to go until maybe sort of the midway point of it. There was a possibility that match was going 5.
Yeah.
Great back behind slice from Musetti, actually making that work for once, but he's changing direction. Now goes up the line with the forehand. Backhand Djokovic. Oh, Djokovic has just clipped the line, and now he's got Musetti where he wants it, but overhits the forehand. Djokovic does not make the most of that situation. Musetti holds and consolidates the break.
Indeed.
Here we go.
Yeah. Djokovic should normally put that forehand away.
That was an uncharacteristic miss from Novak.
Hour and 5 minutes on the clock.
Did you do this the first semi-final as well?
Yeah, with James, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a cut-off time today?
Yeah, but it's not for a while. Basically, 9 o'clock your time.
9 o'clock. Okay, okay, we'll find out.
I mean, this could go 5, and it could be really attritional, and there might be a point when I'd have to leave. But I probably will leave for about 10 or 15 minutes at some point. But I'll never be far away. I've just got someone who needs to come into my living room and needs me to vacate it while they do their work. Cool. But even if you weren't here when that happened, I could always switch the phone on and use my phone to watch this match. Yeah. But it might just mean 10 minutes of me not being on the stream.
That's fair enough. We've got it. Oh, wonderful pass from Musetti there for 15-all. Crowd going wild.
Yeah. Nolan here asking me who I'm going to root for with England and Spain. England. Next question.
You going to Berlin?
I am, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go. I don't have a ticket yet, but I didn't have a ticket until maybe 5 or 6 hours before kickoff the other day. So I'm going to Hamburg anyway. That's the main reason. Well, it's not the main reason, but it's an added reason. For Hamburg and Berlin are only a couple of hours apart, whereas normally Berlin would be quite a trek for me. But given the proximity to Hamburg, I'm probably going to get some of the qualifiers in for Hamburg tomorrow afternoon, and then maybe head to Berlin tomorrow night, and then go back to Hamburg for Monday. Because I'm talking about the ATP 500.
Yeah, I figured.
And we've got a challenger in Bonn next month.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. We did have one the last few years, but it seemed to disappear from the calendar, and so I just assumed that was it. But they updated the calendar recently, and they've just re-added it.
Well, hopefully we get a decent entry list.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, but I'm just happy to have a chat. And it's even at a club I've even actually played at. This club, it's quite a modest place, but challengers do pop up in all sorts of weird and wonderful places.
Challenges end up at 30 all. Challenges do end up in some fun places. I do still want to see the Ilkley Challenger one day. 30 all. Djokovic goes for the serve volley and it works. He goes back behind Musetti, who loses his footing trying to push back for the forehand, and it's 40-30.
Ghosty asking if Bond people are called Bonneroos. No, I call them Bonsters, but you can basically call them whatever you like.
That's such an English nickname.
Foden or Yamal? Yamal, Nerlan. Did Musetti lift his level? I would say undoubtedly.
Got a second serve for Musetti to look at here. Djokovic isn't quite out of this game yet. You'd still more or less back him to, but first serve is out wide. Slicing play from Musetti. Djokovic goes up the line with the backhand. It's too good. Musetti cannot get to it, and it's 2-1 Djokovic. You get the feeling that Musetti's going to have to be defending this break of serve for his life if he's going to get this set.
Yep, indeed. What about that Rybakina loss yesterday, or the Krejcikova win?
That was such a weird match in terms of how it went from one end to the other. Because the first sort of few minutes, first few games was all about Rybakina beating Krejcikova down, and I was like, okay, here we go. She's motoring here, and then Krejcikova holds serve, and that just gives her a huge confidence boost. And suddenly she's taking it to Rybakina. She's starting to hit deep. Her serve starts working really well, Rybakina ends up just basically being the one who's more likely to break down in the rally, which I guess is not surprising given how flat she hits it. But yeah, I would say, I don't think it's a huge surprise given we know Krejcikova can peak against top players, and we know how well she can play, and there seemed to be some momentum out there with her Novotna connection.
Yeah.
I think there was something brewing with Krejcikova. Weird to think given how that first round of hers went, which I actually haven't seen. I've just heard Damien and Vance talking about it. Absolutely brilliant. I have to credit Varvara Krejcikova, who basically punished Rybakina for any slight error she made.
Nerlan, we're waiting for you to. There was somebody commenting about your fandom of Rybakina. Nice to see you here. Oh, yes.
Fabulous drop shot from Musetti, which Djokovic did manage to get, but he just about, and it still opened up the court enough for Musetti to just pass him down the line. Fantastic. But I think it was because it looked like it was going to clip the net, that drop shot.
Hi, Girafine. That's a new name to me, but maybe you've been here before. If you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please do hit subscribe.
Maybe they know people from other tennis streams.
Maybe they do. Other tennis streams do exist.
We just don't talk about them very often.
Yeah.
Djokovic seems to be in control of this point, but he's pulled that inside-out forehand wide. Another forehand that he should have made that he missed, and it's they love Musetti. Someone's
pumped to see you here.
Did you miss me? When have you gone 3 days?
He was already here at 5:15, I think it was, when we was it 5:15 UK time, something like that, when we started the stream. And Jake was one of the first people in the chat. It was just actually 5:05 actually, with saying it's Nick's time, baby. He asked me if you were going to be on the stream today, and I said yes. But then, of course, he probably thought you'd be here at the beginning. But no,
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting, Jake. Blame my job.
Ooh, Novak there. Novak there, I should say, on the backhand side there, Irving. So
A little bit of a rough Freudian slip there.
Yeah, something going on.
Here we go. 4 love. Great serve from Musetti. He's going to come in behind, but he's going to give Djokovic time on that forehand, which is a bad idea. And Djokovic forces the error. Cross court, 40-15. It was he had Djokovic where he wanted him, but just didn't do enough with that follow-up forehand. And there you go. Gira, Musetti fan, fantastic. I'm surprised that the channel you usually cover things with isn't covering this match, to be honest. Forehand from Djokovic, the forehand of Musetti cross court. Djokovic goes up the line with his forehand slice from Musetti to the slice of Novak Djokovic just in the corner. The cap that's out slicing. And now Djokovic changed direction with the forehand. Musetti's there, but he's got court open. He's going to try and reach the backhand. Oh, he's made it! What a pass by Lorenzo Musetti on the backhand side. Somehow he reached it. Djokovic hit the ball into space. Musetti reached out with a single-handed backhand and gracefully placed it cross-court past Novak Djokovic. What a shot from Lorenzo Musetti, who maintains the break for 3-1. Wow. I tell you what, I'm pumped. I hope you are too. Julian tagging all the Alcaraz fam. Here's a quick. Does the Alcaraz fam want a Musetti final? I don't think it'll be as easy as you would think. It's easier than Djokovic, but not that easy. So Djokovic ends up dealing with a fantastic forehand return from Musetti and puts his forehand into the net, 15 love. And right now, the Djokovic forehand is malfunctioning just a little bit.
I missed that point.
That was the wrong point to miss. Djokovic first serve up the tee, really good, but Musetti's return is in play. Now we've got a slice from Musetti up the line. Djokovic going to be there with the forehand to go cross court. Who gets Musetti on the run? He's got the open court to play, but Musetti's going to make it again. Puts up a lob. Djokovic scoops back. Yeah, it does land in. Overhead from Djokovic to the Musetti backhand, which he slices into play. Backhand Djokovic cross court, and Musetti cannot get that one. There's too much pace on it. It's 15 all. John's still getting set up with.
Can you hear me, by the way?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I am getting set up in terms of the match on my phone.
Yeah. I think you are starting to struggle a bit in terms of your frame rate, but we can hear you, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's because I've got about a million different windows. I could actually fix it probably, but I almost don't think it matters that much.
Great serve from Djokovic, and the return from Musetti's just wide, but huge serving from Novak Djokovic when he needs it, 30-15. And that's the Goran Ivanisevic effect, as we've been seeing over the last sort of 6 years. Not that Ivanisevic is in his box anymore, but yeah, sort of skeleton team Novak right now.
Luka Modric was in the Alcaraz box. Oh, I saw, or I heard you just talk about Alcaraz, and yeah, but you'd probably fancy your chances more against Musetti, right, than Novak.
Oh, yeah. No, out of the two, Musetti's the lesser threat, but I don't think Musetti would be an easy match. I certainly don't think it'd be a walkover.
No, indeed.
30 all. Djokovic trying to pick up the Musetti drop shot and put it in the net.
Zira, am I saying your name right? Zira or Jera? However it's pronounced. Are you trying to pitch to be a moderator?
I think they are a moderator for a different tennis stream.
Yeah, no, I saw they said that, yeah.
Okay. But
we're open to. We've actually only got one moderator. It's
yeah,
not
we
really.
do. But Ashley seems to work double time on our stream. So thank you, Ashley.
Novak
Really
is held,
appreciate
by
it.
the way.
Yeah, really good serve from Novak. No, I was at talking about Ivanisevic. I was actually, when I was at Wimbledon, I was sat next to someone who'd come to court 17 to watch Denis Shapovalov, but we were sitting through Badosa Kvitova first. I was there for Badosa Kvitova, and she brought her mum with her, who wasn't that into tennis. She was more into cricket, and she was like, "Oh, I remember Ivanisevic. I used to bet on him at Wimbledon every year. The one year I didn't bet on him, he won it." But I think he's coaching someone now, isn't he? And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
sort of was.
Yeah, you're
Not-
a bit behind the timeline, but
Yeah, and also just some player, not only like the most decorated tennis player ever in the men's game.
Indeed. Right, I've got the match up on my phone. I've got Musetti about to serve, so I guess I'll be back to being like a point ahead of you now.
Potentially, yeah, because I'm still seeing the montage.
I think I can press pause. Yes, I can. The first point you're going to see is going to be a pretty meaty return from Novak that Musetti couldn't deal with.
Okay, that's good to know.
Where are you based, Gira or Gera, by the way?
I mean, clearly not on the right time zone.
Musetti is the fourth Italian man in history to reach the semi-final at this stage. After I'm going to try and get these names right: Pietrangeli, Berrettini, and Alex Sinner, of course.
And of course, all of those coming very, very recently.
Yeah, or two of them anyway. I've just pressed play again. It's at love 15. Are you at love 15?
I've got love 15. I've just seen the Musetti forehand that ends up in the net.
Yeah.
And now I've seen the stats thing come up.
Okay.
So we're probably about in sync now, hopefully.
Watching a pretty big rally.
Yeah, I've just seen Sinner. It was Musetti serve. Sinner, wrong Italian. And now he's got Djokovic chasing all over the court, like Djokovic had him chasing all over the court earlier. Just a slice from Musetti. The Djokovic backhand, again, a slice from Musetti because he's been dragged out of court. Musetti actually hits through that backhand, but Djokovic goes up the line with the forehand. Musetti's definitely in defense mode right now. Djokovic's going to come in, lob from Musetti, overhead from Djokovic. Musetti's going to get to the net, slice to Djokovic, who then lobs him. Another backhand overhead from Musetti. That one was not quite as clean. Ends up in the tram line.
Indeed.
Love 30.
What a lob indeed, Snehil. What a lob indeed.
Danger time for Musetti. As we said, he was going to have to defend like crazy against Novak to try and maintain this break. And here we go.
Okay, on the backhand here from the drop shot from Novak. And it's going to bring out an error, I think, from Musetti. And we've got love 40 and 3 break points. So we'll be back
I've just
on
seen the drop shot and the Musetti error.
Yeah, I'm just going to pause for another few seconds then.
I mean, Djokovic is playing really well. And actually, he's doing a very good job of he's moving Musetti around, but now he's using his own kind of ability to mix things up to disrupt things for Musetti. And, it really does show that when he wants to, Novak can literally do anything. First serve is long from Musetti. Anything, obviously, overheads are still questionable, but hey, not a major weakness, I don't think. Huge. That's a return winner from Djokovic. Breaks to love. Job done. Back to 3-all. And to answer Ashley's question, does this feel like a long match? Not now Novak's broken back.
Yes, that's changed everything, hasn't it, in terms of that. If Musetti had got out of that incredible hole that he was in at love 40, then quite possibly. But now, we could be 10 or 15 minutes away from 2 sets to love. We probably won't be, but it's not off the agenda for Novak to go on a run and hold serve and break.
There's definite danger here. This is going to be one of those close Novak semi-finals like he had with Shapovalov in 2021 Wimbledon or Shelton at the US Open last year, where there were competitive sets, there were close sets. Maybe Djokovic shouldn't have won all of those sets, but he did.
But he ended up finding a way.
So,
yeah.
It might, my read of this match, this may end up being something very similar. Which, hey, is a good thing if you're a Novak fan or someone who wants to be for an epic Carlos final on Sunday.
Indeed, and he's already won the first point on serve, 3-all 15 love.
Why? Yeah. I think everyone else is a bit behind. We've got a second serve for Novak coming up here. Djokovic goes up the tee. Forehand from Musetti. The forehand of Djokovic. Backhand slice by Musetti to the Djokovic. Forehand goes back behind, but short. Another slice from Musetti, which clips the top of the net and just dies on the court. So, yeah, agreed with Julian. Very lucky there for Musetti.
Indeed. Novak didn't look too amused at that one.
Is there much of a crowd interaction here? I didn't really hear when I had sound on this match. I didn't really hear any crowd booing.
What I will say is now I've had the sound up intermittently, and it's not booing, not at all, but just getting a bit louder, because I think there was there was that gap between the matches and people coming back to their seats, because there was a lot of empty seats at the beginning of this match, but it looks a lot more full now. So therefore,
that's pretty standard for Wimbledon, isn't it? Because obviously the gap between matches is often only like 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes. And people are still queuing up to go to the toilet or get food. They don't really come back for a while. So that's fairly standard for a Wimbledon crowd.
Yes, and it was certainly the case yesterday.
In fact, actually, when I was at Wimbledon last week, I was on centre. I actually decided to take a comfort break between the Egan match and the Murray match, and left my seat, went downstairs, saw the queues, and decided that I was going to run across to court 1, do what I needed to do, come back, got back within about 5-10 minutes, well before the match started, before pretty much anyone else. Which goes to show how close together everything at Wimbledon is.
Yes, indeed. 2 game points here for Novak. Of course, the one point that did go the way of Lorenzo was a fortuitous shot that clipped the net.
Yeah, Gil making the point there. Probably should have been a bit longer. So if it started at 6 p.m, then Jake would have had me for the whole stream.
Novak puts that backhand away, and now it's over to you, Lorenzo, 3-4.
Yeah, Julian, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a massive uphill struggle for Musetti. I can't. There has to be a list of people somewhere who've beaten Novak Djokovic from 2 sets to love down. Has anyone done that?
Look at this for a stat, by the way, as well, regarding Novak entering Grand Slams and making the final. Basically, 37 and 37 is 74, I think. So he's very close to 50% making the final.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. But yeah, all you have to do to get to 50% is make the US Open final.
Yeah, right.
Which wouldn't be that crazy, I don't think.
And he's got to make the Wimbledon final as well.
He does. We're feeling pretty good about that at the minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see where we're at in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree. I know what you mean. We're going to try and we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but it does feel like that trajectory right now.
Nerland, there's 2 podcasts that spring to mind. One is History Hit But unfortunately, I think it's gone behind a paywall, or certainly I think you have to be a member of something to listen to it for free now. But that was one I used to listen to religiously, I would say. The other one is the Totally Football Show, hosted by James Richardson, twice a week. Those are the two that I would lean on pretty heavily. I used to listen to the tennis podcast a lot. And the only reason I don't anymore is just pretty much because I'm always doing this. So it's not something I need to lean on anymore or can enjoy to the same extent, just because I'm so involved with producing podcasts that actually listening to tennis podcasts. It's not something that I rule out, and I will dip in from time to time. But from probably listening to it on a weekly basis, I know they sometimes produce more than one a week, but now it's probably once every 6 months I might dip into a tennis podcast, particularly if I'm not doing much. Maybe if there's a week of us not producing a lot of content, then I might sort of be able to enjoy somebody else's, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, History Hit and the Totally Football Show. Any podcasts that you dip into, Nick?
I have similar problems because I work a full-time job and I often have to be on call. So listening to podcasts is quite tricky because I get frustrated when I have to pause things, and sometimes when I'm focusing on something I don't necessarily want someone talking in my ear. Like I do try, like there was a time where I tried to listen to every tennis podcast, like as Schwan has put in their Monday Match Analysis, tennis podcast, On the Line, Tennis and Bagels, Eager and Carlos Show. Obviously, a lot of those are affiliated are from people who are on the channel, part of the channel.
You've got a podcast too, Nick. Feel free.
I do have a podcast too, but do I really want to say that I listen back to my own podcasts?
No, right, yeah.
I mean, I do on mute because then it gives it a listen. But
yeah, okay. Occasionally, I might listen, not to one that I've been on, but occasionally I might listen to us as a podcast. Yeah, maybe because I wasn't able to tune in, or sometimes I listen.
Yeah, I'll catch up with ATP Weekly fairly often.
Okay, yeah.
Usually.
I probably don't watch back on YouTube, but I will, like on my travels and stuff, maybe tune in, especially if I wasn't able to produce or wasn't able to pay attention when it was on YouTube. So if there was and sometimes I do find myself chuckling at a line from you or from Vanch.
Great. Oh, drop shot from Musetti with Djokovic. Oh, just missed. He got to it, but just pushed over the baseline. Musetti holds for 4-all.
Yeah, Novak annoyed himself there. I think he really should have pushed Musetti to produce there. But Musetti as well at 30-all, a little bit of a hole, but he's out of it.
I was going to say, I did used to watch myself back a lot on YouTube when we first got started, which is coming up for 2 years ago now. And I used to do that just to kind of look and see what I was doing and see what I could fix. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I feel the lead less often to do that.
Sure.
I'm not self-conscious.
What does Musetti or Novak need to fix right now? I have a funny question. Should I ask it? No, you could ask it. Whether we'll answer it, of course, will depend on how funny indeed it is.
Indeed. Unreturnable serve from Novak. In terms of your question of like what they need to fix, I think there's not a lot. I think Musetti just maybe needs to go for a bit more risks. Like when he broke back in the first set, he managed to find some absolutely brilliant forehands. But yeah, I think at this point, if he tries to play safe with Novak and go and just trade with him, he's going to lose. And if he can find an opportunity to take a risk, then he should take it. I think that's probably the only thing he could change. Djokovic, there's not a lot he can change other than maybe rein it in a bit and try not to miss as much as he has been. Having said that, he's really going for this rally at the minute. He goes inside out the forehand. Musetti's going to slice. But I love the up-the-line forehand that Djokovic played. That backhand into the net was a bit tame. 15-all.
Yeah, if he takes that risk with that backhand down the line, Jake, indeed. But of course, how long can you redline with that?
I do agree with you, Jane, by the way, on like podcasts. One of the reasons I don't listen to TED podcasts that often is like, especially before I record, I don't like to listen to something in case I don't know what, in case I end up just sharing other people's
Yeah.
stuff of my own.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. 15-all, got a second serve, I want to
Yeah,
say.
second serve now. Now he's just gone into the net on that
Yeah, I
serve.
just see him striking it. Okay, yeah, he's put the first serve into the net, so that was a let, and then... So we go 15-all. This is quite an interesting poised game here at 4-all, 15-all. You know, there's a potential opportunity brewing. It depends. Djokovic is kind of slowing the pace down again as he does, but now he's into the game. Backhand just short from Musetti. Now we've got backhand from Djokovic, backhand Musetti up to the service line. Djokovic is pushing deep with the forehand, goes again, making Musetti run for it, and that slice was not anywhere near clearing the net. It's 30-15.
Indeed. Yeah, because of course a break now would feel huge for either player.
Yeah, although Musetti trying to serve out a set with Djokovic breathing down his neck would be interesting. Although he has done it several times in his career. Obviously, he's done it in 2 best-of-5 matches where he's taken 2 sets off Djokovic. He took 2 sets Djokovic off Monte Carlo.
Yeah, he pushed him to 5 on clay on 2 occasions, right? At the French Open.
Yes, that's right. And kind of both times he ran out of gas, albeit the first time he ran out a lot earlier than the second time.
Yeah, I don't think he finished it, did he? Did he finish it?
He retired
He
for
goes,
the
so I think
fans. That's the tennis podcast.
Yeah. He what? Sorry, go on.
Retired for the fans.
Oh, yeah, right. Because I think that's what he said. I think he said it, yeah.
So 40-15. Drop the slice in there. Jane is currently hearkening back to the days where we did the Australian Open from your flat.
Yes, I know. Oh, a Joker smash, but that's not going to land in. So Djokovic holds.
Yeah, it's the Musetti lob that doesn't land in, not the Joker smash.
Yes, right. Sorry, yeah.
So yeah, change of ends. 5-4. Julian Djokovic always looks tired. Like he does. He genuinely does.
After the first game, somebody said in the chat, I think it was Matthew, said that he was blowing a bit.
I think he's done that for most of his entire career. It's gotten worse as he's got older, but like, no, maybe not. Like, but like, sort of midway through from the midpoint of his career, like that was sort of pretty tired for. Like, he looks like he's like low on energy, and then just kind of just goes for it. But then he has expended a lot of energy for whatever point that is, like in the previous point, but. It's certainly not the same as when he was in peak form, like 2011, 2012, when he looked like he could basically run for days whilst punching a piece of meat.
I have an answer for you, Jake. My answer is no, actually. I saw it a lot in the first set. I've seen Musetti getting some praise for the second set, but I think they're just looking at the scoreboard rather than the actual slice, because I saw him using the slice a lot more in the first set, and I was fearful with every slice that landed over the net because it's decent, but there's enough height on it, there's enough bounce on it. Novak can then potentially get it on his forehand, or Novak will just keep in the backhand exchange. So although I saw that tweet from Simon Cambers just now, and I've seen some people sort of praising him for the slice, but I don't think it's a tactic that's going to win you a 5-set match against Novak Djokovic, because he doesn't have a problem with dealing it. It's not a bad slice, but we're not talking like we're not talking about Fucsovics or Dimitrov levels of class on the slice. And we're also not talking about a player who struggles with it, like perhaps maybe Daniel Medvedev in the past, albeit I think he does it with it a lot better now. Djokovic will just eat it up for breakfast.
Yeah, like those players you talked about, Fucsovics and Dimitrov, like I would not back their slices as like top level slices against Djokovic. Heck, Federer's slice didn't really hurt him that much. So
yeah, and the other thing was in the first set when he was using the slice as often as he was, it didn't seem like it was a tactic, as in like I'm going to do this to try and hurt Novak. It felt like it was just at the point of the contact point for him to pull off the sweet spot that he needs on the backhand, particularly perhaps because he couldn't get his footwork in place, was just not there. So it was a case of like, okay, the natural shot for me to hit here is the slice because I'm in this position where my feet are here and the ball is landing here, and I'm not going to be able to hit the ball on the rise as much as I like to if I can attack this. So it didn't feel like a tactic. It just felt like the natural shot for him to go to. Of
That
course, if
forehand, though, he just hit for
that was
30-15.
nice.
That was nice. Yeah, that was wonder. And I think actually, if he could find a way of to use the forehand.
Yes, if you can stay in that dynamic, fine. But it's not always easy because Novak is quite keen to do a backhand-to-backhand exchange.
Yeah. I mean, what I will say is obviously as well, Djokovic will figure out the forehand, so he can't use it too often.
Novak as well needs to be, when he's serving, you kind of know on big points he's probably going to go to the backhand. Again, we're not talking Tsitsipas levels of Berrettini-esque. Musetti on the backhand. It's just that the backhand return for Musetti is not going to do a huge amount of damage. So Novak knows that if he's on a second serve and he's facing a break point, he knows that, Novak, well, they'll be disappointed with that forehand. So it's 5-all. He just knows that he can go to the well and he's going to be okay. He can put a sort of slowish second serve in. Musetti's not going to just whack it past him in a backhand return sort of scenario that Novak or even Carlos might. And then he's just going to be in the rally, and he's quite okay with that. 5-all. Paolini is too famous now to remain. Yeah, she's certainly not niche anyway anymore. The more success she has, but then of course, we're not going to dispense of a two-time Grand Slam winner. We haven't dispensed of any friend of the show yet. They'd have to do something pretty bad. We'd have to draw up a list of reasons to dispense of them. But yeah, hopefully she doesn't dispense of us. And next time we ask for a 1-to-1, she doesn't go, well, I'm a double-time Grand Slam finalist now. Novak.
Just seeing it now. Yeah, he really slapped that forehand into the net on the inside out.
Love 15.
That's a silly, and it's the forehand that's making more mistakes from Djokovic right now, which is probably another reason why he's very content to do backhand to backhand, because it's fairly comfortable for him.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to win those points 9 times out of 10.
I picked Garcia to beat Paolini. Maybe you mean in my pre-tournament bracket or just on the day, Swana? But yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, I think I saw some signs maybe from Garcia in the either during Madrid or that week. Just a second, I've got to depart. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Well, while John departs, it might be a critical moment to depart, but we'll see how this goes. We've got a first serve from Djokovic. Musetti scoops the forehand into play. Now they're trading forehands up the middle of the court. Djokovic balloons the forehand, love 30. I mean, look, we've all made bad predictions, Shauna. I am sitting here as the man who predicted Simona Halep to win the 2022 US Open. Lost in the first round to Daria Sneager and then turned out to be doping. But never mind. Or at least, whether deliberately or not, that's a whole different question. But that's probably my worst call I've made. But I suppose if you talk about like match wins, like Paolini we didn't know how good she was yet. Like these last few weeks have been exceptional from the Italian, ace from Djokovic, by the way. Paolini, 2 Grand Slam finals back to back. That was not on the cards in Madrid. Dubai was still a slightly surprising result. Another ace from Novak. I mean, like Paolini, I think always had a talent. I always rated her pretty highly. I was pretty pleased, and not that surprised she won Dubai. But that was it. I'm not going to do a women's final preview right now. Jake might save that for the start of the stream tomorrow because I am going to do the women's final tomorrow.
I'll take that on though. I'll take that on. I'm going 60-40, as in 60 Barbora, 40 Jasmine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a French Open final scenario. I don't see a scenario, that we've seen from Rebecca on 1 or 2 occasions during this tournament, where it's kind of like, a set and a break and it feels like it's done. I don't see Krejcikova winning 1 and 2, for example. And so when when you've got that, I see Novak has held there with an ace. I'm back in Libya.
Yeah, his serving was insane. So,
yeah. So I don't see that scenario. So then suddenly you're in two tight sets. 7-5, 7-6, 7-5, 6-4, whatever. Yeah, actually, this is an interesting question here from Nerland. You would think Damien is too cool to be dipping into talking tennis when he's away, but he does, because sometimes he'll notice I've made a mistake or something. I said that Barry Cowan made the fourth round in 1992 or something, and he'll be like, no, it was 1991. But he says it to me like a few hours later, or even a few weeks later. And then there's also something else. Oh, that's right. I mentioned the Challenger in Braunschweig that's happening this week. And I must have mentioned it on a stream like a week ago. Braunschweig is a few hours from where I live. And I just said that I'd sent them an email and I never got a response back. I didn't chase it up because I'm quite also fine with just staying in Bonn. But if they'd have got back to me and said, and I was really interested in going on Monday. Anyway, whatever they do. So Damien said to me a few hours later, I was listening to you on the stream earlier and you were talking about Braunschweig. And he said, apparently there's a thing on the website and a form to fill in or blah, blah, blah. Because he said he had the same issue like last year or the year before. So yeah, he does dip in. You won't see him you might see him in the live chat every now and again. If I say something outrageous that he disagrees with, then that's when you'll get him in commenting in the live chat. But most of the time he's more of a lurker. But I never expect him to be listening. I bet it's probably only a few times a year, but yes, he does dip in.
Nicely taken out of the air from Musetti there for 15 love. Yeah, well, look, yeah, I've done the same thing. I've definitely lurked on a stream when I should have been working, or in the background, have it in my ears, but I can't necessarily be in the live chat. But yeah, I think Damien obviously loves his tennis too much and wants to know what's going on. That's why you're all here.
Indeed.
First serve from Musetti into the net. We've got a second serve at 15 love. 5-6. Critical game here. Huge. Oh, it's a let from Musetti. That would explain why the ball died so much. So reset for a second serve. He goes out wide. The backhand of Djokovic. Backhand Musetti. So the Djokovic forehand. Djokovic Musetti to Musetti forehand. Cross court Djokovic. The forehand of Musetti short. Djokovic changes direction with the forehand. Mussetti's going to go out the middle with a backhand. Djokovic is now moving Musetti around, but they're still fairly neutral rally actually. Now Djokovic puts a bit more angle on it. He's still moving Musetti from side to side. Now this time he slices. He took a while to do before doing that. Goes for the cross court forehand. The Djokovic forehand, which Musetti goes on the backhand. Again, not quite enough angle. Now slices that one. Backhand Djokovic. Again, living with the slice. This rally's been going on for a while, but they're both doing well. Now we've got off the top of the net from Musetti, who then has to chase down that backhand up the line from Djokovic. Misses. And Musetti is frustrated because in a neutral rally like that, Djokovic is very, very comfortable. And yeah, 15 all.
26 shot rally.
Yeah. Shauna going big on Musetti being a future slam champion. I feel like he's got potential to beat the top guys in like one-off matches. Whether he strings it together, I'm not sure. And I don't know how well he matches up with the modern versions of Alcaraz and Sinner because we haven't seen that yet. Long rally again, by the way. Forehand cross court from Djokovic. The drop shot from Musetti, which actually ends up being more of a forehand slice.
Yeah, I know.
Backhand, which that clips the line, and I've got another slice back behind. That is more of a drop shot. Djokovic is in. Musetti's going to lob him. It's in. Djokovic is going to reach it though. Scoops up with the backhand. Musetti's going to put away the overhead.
Has he missed that?
I think he's missed it.
No, he's clinched his fist. It's okay. I think it's landed in. It has landed in.
It has just landed in.
Missing it. And by the way, I think Djokovic's shot might have been landing out.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I suppose Musetti didn't want to take the risk and give Novak
time. Right, I think he was so certain that he was going to put the smash away that the odds were, I'm putting the smash away 98% of the time, and if I let it bounce 10% of the time, it might land in.
I'm looking at that slow-mo. I'm not super convinced Djokovic's shot was going out. I think Musetti did the right thing there to just deal with it in case.
Anyway, he was super close to going out. But anyway, it is what it is, 30-15.
First serve is wild from Musetti.
I don't think Pele's a hipster choice, Ghosty. I think it's a bit mainstream still
It
for
maybe
me.
hipster for Damien's age, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Second serve out wide, but Djokovic gets the backhand cross court really well onto it, really deep, and Musetti cannot live with it. And now he's shouting his box 30 all, potentially 2 points away from going 2 sets to love down. Wondering what he needs to do to take down this 7-time Wimbledon champion, 24-time Grand Slam champion, the new the dominant force on centre court in recent years until dethroned by Alcaraz last year. As Musetti goes for the backhand volley off the ground, puts it in the net. We have a set point for Novak Djokovic.
Indeed.
Ghosty, I'm not sure George Best is a hipster pick for you because you were probably alive. In fact, you were definitely alive when George Best was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, first serve from Musetti's at the tee is really good. Now he's got to follow up with the forehand cross court. Djokovic struggles to get to. He's looping it up. We're going to get another Musetti overhead. No, he's at that one bounce this time at the baseline. Oh, short smash.
Okay, we're gonna get. We've got a challenge here, or basically said it definitely landed out, but
yeah, I did think that. I think that's
here. Musetti basically stopped the point. So if this is landing in, I'm pretty sure, but he must have been convinced, and he's right. It's out. Yeah. So we're at deuce.
A little bit tight for Musetti there, but he gets the job done. Set point saved.
It was Djokovic who challenged, was it? Okay. Anyway.
Maybe, yeah. That would make more sense.
Yeah, so I just had my sound down, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I could probably put here faint in for this how I'm watching it. But anyway, but forehand inside out from Musetti is a winner. Great +1 forehand from Musetti to get to advantage. And he's celebrating there. And well deserved to celebrate, to be honest, because that was a really nice +1 just picked up from a very deep Novak return.
Alcaraz is here saying, looks like I'll see you all again on Sunday. It almost sounds like there's a bit of doubt. Like he might not turn up. He might go, you know what?
That would be the ultimate way to finish this Wimbledon. Like, yeah, sorry, one of the finalists is injured.
Or I'm going to go to Berlin instead and watch the football.
We've got, so another great serve from Musetti's set up a game point, gets in the game point. We're into a second set tiebreak.
Indeed we are. If you are interested in becoming a member, it is pinned in the live chat, as well as I think the hyperlink is also below. And if you do become a member, you'll be supporting the channel, but you will also get bonus material, including occasional interviews from people on the ground at the tournaments. Djokovic serving here, and he's got an unreturnable, so it is 1-0 for the Serb.
Yeah, the Djokovic serve has definitely picked up a lot more in the last towards the end of the second set. Which obviously adds to the pressure that Musetti is going to be under in this tiebreak. Goes out wide with the serve. That's a great serve from Musetti. Then follows up with the +1 right back at Djokovic backhand. And now he's going to slice again. Slice from Djokovic. Back up the line from Musetti. Now we've got cross court from Djokovic. They're changing, moving each other around. Djokovic goes back behind with the backhand up the line. That was a really smart choice because it draws the out from Musetti. 2-0 Djokovic. And you can see what's the difference there because Musetti's kind of +1 backhand cross court. He was trying to go back behind Djokovic and wrong footing, but Djokovic had barely moved. It wasn't the right choice. Djokovic's backhand up the line was the right choice because Musetti was very much wrong footed and couldn't control the forehand.
Svitolina was pulled out of Palermo. No
surprise there. She would have been the second seed, I think, but obviously not now. Zheng Qinwen, obviously the top seed there. Slice from Djokovic, by the way, went to a rally. So he's going to try and lob Djokovic, but it doesn't work. Drags into the baseline, 3-0 Djokovic, and very much in control of this tiebreak right now. Very similar to how that Medvedev tiebreak started in the first set against Alcaraz.
Yeah, indeed. Yes, it should finish comfortably before Swanos. I'm sure he'll be able to watch it on TV, but I don't think he'll have enough time to get to Berlin. The men's final,
unless you think it's going to be another 4 or 5 hour epic like it was last year.
But even then, I think it's what time does the men's final start local time in the UK?
Usually 2
2:30?
p.m. local time, which is
2
bang on
p.m.
6 hours before.
So 6
kickoff.
hours, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think 6 hours would be, especially with a roof scenario. It's not like they're going to have any time off court because of the weather, unless there's a bit of rain or something, then they have to close the roof. But that'll only take. How long does the roof take to close? Do you think 10 minutes?
Sometimes, yeah, Matt, probably or 15, because it'll come back out or set it all back up again. So yeah, you could be looking at 10 to 20 minute break.
A 5.5 hour final. Then that would.
There wasn't a rain delay for the 2019 final, was there? How long did that last? I remember that going quite late.
Okay. Yeah, it was quite late. Is that a winner for Musetti?
Yeah, it's a winner from Musetti. That's a beautiful forehand winner from Musetti, 3-1. And that's when he uses the forehand, it's brutally effective.
But they still played that final outdoors, didn't they? So there's obviously a delay, and then they were like, but this is only going to be a very, very quick shower. So they decided to stick with the roof being open, right? 2019.
I don't think there was a rain delay during that match.
I thought you said there was a rain delay at the beginning of the 2019 final.
I don't remember there being that.
Oh, I thought you said that, so I must have misheard.
No, I'm saying 2019, there wasn't a rain delay.
Oh, wasn't it? Okay.
And it still went very, very late.
Yeah, but it wasn't that late. I remember getting to a friend after that final. I was at a friend's place to see the conclusion of the cricket 2020 final.
Oh, yeah, because that was all happening at the same time.
Yeah, right. Unreturnable serve from Djokovic, and it's 4-1 to the Serb.
Yeah. So 1 mini break back for Musetti to look at, but let's see if he can keep it to that when they change ends, because 4-2 looks very different to 5-1 in a tie break. The hill is not quite so ominous, but the first serve into the top of the net from Musetti is not great, especially since that literally hit the lowest part of the net. As the lowest part of where the net is. And he's got the second serve in play. Then he goes for the slice, really deep, backhand Djokovic cross court. Musetti's going to go up the line with the backhand. Djokovic just goes back behind. Musetti's going to have to slice that one to keep it going. Inside out, forehand from Djokovic. Musetti's still trading cross court for some reason. Now changes direction. Djokovic's going to be there with the forehand again, goes back behind. Musetti's going to go cross court. Now we've got another cross court. And Djokovic goes long, 4-2. Djokovic breaks down for once the backhand to backhand rally. Doesn't happen very often, but Musetti will take it.
Absolutely, yeah. But Djokovic is winning that rally 70% of the time. Anyway, 4-2 at the change of ends. So 4-2, and he's still in the tiebreak, 5-1, and it's almost done.
We're still having lots of football debate here in the chat. Obviously, neither of these guys have much skin in the game when it comes to Euros. I don't think Serbia qualified, and the Italians probably don't want to talk about their performance. I know they did play. Yeah, you're right. It was group stage exit for Serbia.
Because Djokovic raced over there. There was 1 minute he was practicing, and the next minute we saw him in Munich watching Serbia play. And people were like, wow,
that's right. They were. Because they had a big team in their group.
They had England in the group.
That's right.
England beat them in the first game.
That's right.
Into the rally here. I thought
Djokovic narrowly keeps that in. Slice from Djokovic is a drop shot. Musetti's going to come in. Oh, the pickup was over the baseline from Musetti. 5-2 Djokovic.
2 serves.
2 serves away from it. Lots of complaining from Musetti. Not happy right now. Unfortunately, it's Novak Djokovic in a tiebreak, and very few people take down Djokovic in tiebreaks.
Indeed.
Djokovic's daughter does not look pleased to be out there, it has to be said.
2 points away from a 2 sets lead.
He's going to do it on a second serve, though, to get to set point, because that first serve was very in the net. It's the weakest first serve he's said in this tiebreak, I think. Weakest first serve he's said for a while, to be honest. Second serve, backhand from Musetti, back to the Djokovic backhand, who's now into another backhand rally. Oh, the slice from Musetti ends up in the net, just dumped it in the net. 6-2 Djokovic, 4 set points.
It just means like wow, Nolan. Just means like wow. 6-2, 4 set points now for Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of an onomatopoeia, like you go, "Caw!"
Yeah, like
great
that.
shot or something. So here we go. First serve from Djokovic, clips the net. We've got a let, so it's reset for this point, 6-2. Long silence as Djokovic still in his serve routine. Goes out wide. Oh,
I thought it was an ace, but no.
Yeah, that would have been a core ace.
Yeah, right. Second serve.
Yeah, he should be fine behind the second serve. Backhand from Musetti up the middle. Forehand Djokovic inside out. He's going to struggle to get to it. Djokovic going to get the overhead. Puts it away. Job done. 2 sets to love. And Novak Djokovic is very much on his way to a Wimbledon final rematch with Carlos Alcaraz, provided Lorenzo Musetti doesn't find something extra special, but we'll have to see.
How big a shock would it be if Musetti came back to win this match on the scale of tennis surprises?
7, maybe 8. Like, I don't think it'd be a complete shock because he's been playing pretty well. But it would be, I think the main shock would come from Novak would have to dip quite substantially for that to happen.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do that. Realistically. I could see Musetti getting a set, maybe 2, but 3, not be able to do it yet.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we're 2 hours into the stream. If we're wrong in about 3 hours' time, then, go Musetti. Well done for proving us wrong.
Indeed. I'm just watching Portugal's group chat.
Portugal's?
Let's see if I can share this.
Okay. Well, you have...
Can you see this?
What? Oh, there we go. Is this? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I can see this. Okay. We're into football chat here.
Sorry. Ronaldo in the Portugal group chat.
Oh yeah, because he's still insisting he's going to be. He's talking about playing the next World Cup and maybe even the one after that. Like, I mean, to be fair, if they didn't have him in the team, would they do any better? Probably not.
Indeed. Let us know in the live chat whether you're a Ronaldo fan or not.
Who's talking about Serena TT Cobb?
Who?
Don't know who's talking. Like, asking why they're talking about Serena. I mean, I'll talk about
Serena. There was something with Serena winning an award, I think, wasn't there, or presenting an award?
No, she was. Yeah, she was presenting the ESPYs.
Ah, yeah, the ESPYs, yeah.
Which, to be honest, the track record is the ESPY seems the tennis ESPY just seems to go to whoever won the US Open the previous year.
Job, basically, Jake, just a job. I did study here as well, and maybe that has a slight influence too. But yeah, the job is the main thing.
We're into a rally at the minute. He's going to drop shot Djokovic. Oh, Djokovic almost got to it, but he couldn't get it over the net, and it's 15-all.
That was velvety smooth.
That's the kind of thing we know Musetti does. That's what he's known for. And that's what's got him to this Wimbledon semi-final, in addition to the giant forehand and his ability to mix up paces. And we saw that against Fritz, where he was able to just make things super awkward for the American.
30-15 now for Musetti.
Don't worry, TT Cobb. I don't talk about football if I can possibly help it. Not that I don't like it, it's just I don't like them that much. Forehand from Djokovic, the backhand cross court from Musetti. Now he's running down that forehand, goes cross court. They're moving each other from side to side right now. Really dynamic rally here. Musetti's going to go line over, does it? 30 all.
Yeah.
I can see what he was trying to do there. Just push the forehand over. So just, it was significantly out, but this wasn't enough spin on that backhand. And first serve from Musetti, the Djokovic return, really great return from Djokovic. Just goes long on the forehand, 40-30.
Yeah, I'm probably more with Gasper in terms of where we're at in terms of seismic tasks ahead for Musetti.
Does anyone know off the top of their head? Like, I asked this question because I haven't been able to look it up, but like, has Djokovic ever lost from 2 sets to love up? I think he has.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, including at Wimbledon, I think in something like 2006 or something.
So very early in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was very early on. So not this version of Novak.
No.
He's got a Djoko smash here. He's let the ball bounce, gets it put away. Easy, 40. It's deuce. Going to call it 40 all there, whereas I'm not French.
Djokovic Ancic 2006. Let me just have a quick look at this.
Yeah, that sounds like a familiar match that gets referenced.
Yeah, right, exactly. So Ancic has beaten him once at Wimbledon. It was a 5-setter, but it wasn't 2 sets to love. It was 2 sets to 1 to Novak that Ancic eventually emerged the winner from. It's the only win he had over Novak in his career. 3-1 was the record.
Advantage Djokovic as Musetti's gone long with the forehand. Yes. I have a question about that in a minute, but maybe for the change of events, let's see if this break point happens. Djokovic is ready to receive the serve. He goes out wide from Musetti, but it's called long. Oh, no, it's an ace. It's an ace.
Yeah. Juice.
The angle was very deceptive. I wasn't sure if it just missed the service line, but it was literally right in the corner.
Indeed.
Ancic, like I never watched it. I don't think I ever watched him play. I think he kind of was way too injured by the time I got into tennis in the late 2000s, and like really paid attention to understand what the sport was about in the early 2010s. But he was the next big thing at one point, wasn't he, Ancic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly on the grass. At least I'm just literally reading based on results, to be honest. Because he beat Federer as well at Wimbledon in 2002. Oh, great drop. Oh, drop shot from Musetti, but it was Djokovic was all over it.
Yeah.
Just
all over it like a rash. Back to juice. Nerland. I'd love to see Nerland do a core.
Well, that might have to be saved for the final, given how he's not particularly invested in the match at the minute. Oh, that was a crazy return from Novak. I think it's because the let from...
Yeah, it had been called a let. Yeah.
Let's say. Otherwise, that would have been wild and uncharacteristically.
A little bit of Twitter chatter I saw earlier regarding Medvedev's response to a double bounce and the umpire.
Ooh. Horrible, like great return from Novak. It was horrible for Musetti to deal with, and his advantage to Djokovic again. Yeah, I missed that incident. I can't remember whether it was because I had to have the sound off at that point or wasn't able to pay close attention. But completely missed the incident. Just closing the net. There's just a slice battle at the minute.
Yeah, right.
Backhand from Djokovic, the cross court Musetti, forehand up the line from Djokovic. Backhand Musetti up the line, cross-court Djokovic. Musetti still keeping going on the cross-court to the forehand to the forehand. Djokovic is going to try and change. Oh, he rockets the forehand right at Musetti. Pushes, hits up the line. He's going to come in. Doesn't work. Djokovic passed him easily. And he was just left Djokovic too much space. And Djokovic has a break. 1-0.
There we go.
It's match now. If it wasn't inevitable before, it feels it now.
Yeah, it's ominous. John, do you know what I don't know, Ghosty, but there must be somebody with a chip in a shoe or something.
No idea.
That they're gauging it on.
Yeah, no idea on that one. Who am I doing the women's final with tomorrow again? Is it just Damien?
Probably Damien. You'll have someone, but I'm optimistic given what Damien said to me yesterday. That'll be you and Damien.
Fantastic.
I am traveling to Hamburg in the morning. I will be there by the afternoon, so I will definitely be able to watch, and I may even be able to produce the women's final. And possibly, if it came to it, commentate as well. But as I say, I'm very optimistic that about 90% sure that Damien will be able to join you.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm very enthusiastic about the fact you managed to get Hanlon and Will to commentate on the doubles final.
Yep. Again, I'll probably be producing that one. Exactly. I think it's 2 doubles finals tomorrow, but we haven't decided which one. Probably the one that will immediately follow the women's final.
That's probably going to be the gentlemen's doubles.
Okay, because the women's, a lucky net cord there for Musetti. He needs a few more of those.
Yeah, I think they've released the schedule, but I'm pretty sure it's usually the gentlemen's doubles that follows.
Okay, so when is they? But they've got 2 doubles finals tomorrow, which is, I think, because of some of the rain delays.
That's right.
Yep, Jake, you're going to have him for the women's final.
I have the I basically wanted the women's final pretty much since the start of the tournament,
and especially once Iga was out.
I would have commentated on it if Iga wasn't in it. If Iga was in it, to be honest.
Okay.
Because Wimbledon's the one final I've not done yet.
Oh, okay, you haven't done a women's final for Wimbledon.
No, or a men's. But
have you done a men's final at all?
US Open 2022.
Oh wow! No, that's going back. I think we were 4 or 5 on that stream.
That was a big stream. Yeah.
Isabel, myself. Yeah.
Oh no, and I did the French Open men's final with Eddie and Matt.
Oh, of course you did. Yeah. Just
so those are the 2 men's Grand Slam finals. But yeah, they're the 2 men's finals I've done. I'm watching the Wimbledon men's final with some friends. They basically said, "Oh, do you want to watch one or both of the finals with us?" I said, "I'm probably commentating on one of them. I prefer it, and I'm going to see if I can get the women's finals." So
yeah, that's fine. It's perfect. Yes, talking football.
I'm sure that already exists. You shared their page with us in our group chat a while back. Or recently.
Talking football, not that long ago. It would have been recent, yeah.
Perhaps. Yeah.
But not long ago, because I only created it like about 4 or 5 days ago, I think.
Oh, that was you. That is you. Okay.
Talking tennis. Actually, I've shared the wrong one. Just a second. Here we go. There you go. Let's blow up the internet and let's double the subscribers. It's got 5 subscribers, I think, right now.
Oh, okay. We're doing. John, what are you doing to yourself? You're doing like two channels.
I know, and I don't know whether how much I'll go down this road. I don't know. But I found it a nice little distraction. Let's say all I've posted is these 4 shorts. I think that's it. Oh, and a couple of other videos. But yeah. Yes, indeed. So there we go. Talking football. We've got 5 subscribers right now. If 5 people in the live chat all hit subscribe on that channel, we'll double the number of subscribers and blow up the internet. Djokovic has a game point for 2-love.
Yeah, he got a cross-court backhand. The backhand of Musetti slice. Djokovic then slices again. That's a drop shot, actually, which is just too good. Musetti just catches the ball, gives up to 2-love Djokovic. And there we go. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Predicting an Iga win at the US Open.
Yeah, there's a debate over whether that's happening or not. Personally, for me, I I need to see how the Olympics and Canada and Cincinnati go. I
Yeah.
will say,
Is Sabalenka playing the Olympics? Sorry, is Rybakina playing the Olympics?
current plan is, yeah, she is.
Okay.
I think it'll take for a lot for her to pull out of that. I was going to throw something out there. Yeah. So the US Open champion, apart from the year Raducanu won it, and excluding COVID, has usually been won by someone who's won one of the US or North American hard court warm-up event at Masters events.
Yeah.
So Indian Wells, Miami, Canada, Cincinnati, or has done well at the Olympics. So that's, I think, is probably going to be where we look at it. So at the minute, Iga is one of the favourites, I would say.
Yeah.
But so's Coco, so's Danielle Collins, so's Arina Sabalenka. We don't have enough to kind of separate people out at the minute.
Right. It just depends on what happens over the next sort of 6 weeks or so.
Pretty much. Overhit return from Djokovic, 15-all. Yeah, Iga won Indian Wells and Miami Snail, so that's why she fits into the pattern. So it's Indian Wells, Miami, Canada, Cincinnati, and then when there's an Olympic year, 2021 was a weird year overall. It's kind of a blip in itself. Paolini is a contender. I would say on paper, but we have to see, like, the US Open is where Paolini caught my eye. Like she likes the US Open. So I would love her to be a contender. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. But and that's another thing to say as well. Like typically, US Opens, you will find. The whoever reaches the Olympics final generally does well there. Great return from Novak again, pretty much under pressure, but he puts that backhand to the net 40-30. Jamie, agree with you. It does, and actually, I thought this would be that kind of trajectory. I think I made that comparison early in the stream to that Shapovalov result from 3 years ago against Novak. Musetti fighting his heart out here, but ultimately unlikely to be enough. Gets the game though. No, I think Iga's already a favourite because she's won Indian Wells, so she doesn't need to peak at Toronto or Cincinnati, and I don't think she's going to play Toronto because she'll be at the Olympics. She'll be at the Olympics, but I think she will be a contender. And I think if she gets that Olympic gold, which she's got a good chance at that, then she goes in very, very strongly to the US Open. But I would want to see who comes out of Cincinnati the strongest. Sean, I know what you mean about Djokovic. Yeah, I mean, but that's greatness, right? You would have said the same thing about you said the same thing about Roger and Rafa back in the day. And I say that as a Roger fan. For me, Djokovic does have remarkable wins, but it depends on his opponent. And that opponent, the opponents I would consider remarkable wins for him at the moment would be Sinner and Alcaraz. Collins is beatable. Yeah, no, Lan, she has shown that right now. But like any player is beatable. Any player is beatable. The rankings basically are based on how likely you are to produce a world-beating level at any particular moment. Anyone in theory can beat anyone in tennis. But yeah, I would say like at the minute, Collins has lost a little bit of the aura she built up. Double fault for Djokovic, love 15. Not an ideal start to this game for the Serb, who wants to kind of efficiently run through this one as much as possible.
Yeah, we never got to see the Igor Ostapenko. We've had a few times recently where they've been
Close.
sort of close to each other in the draw, but
no, this would not have been the place I wanted that rematch, to be honest. I would have preferred. I think Igor Ostapenko on a hard court where I want to see that happen.
Yeah. Well, all the French, maybe. I mean,
yeah, all the French, but like, kind of that's kind of. I don't want it just to get given to Igor. I am a fan, but I don't. I feel like it makes more of a statement if you beat if she beats Ostapenko on a surface that is a bit more neutral.
I was having a no. I had melon earlier, Nerlan. I had melon earlier. You missed that part. I was enjoying a melon earlier. But the other melon, not the watermelon that you were referring to, is it cold? As in, like, is the temperature in my apartment cold, or is it cold in Germany right now, or something else? Nerlan, elaborate.
First serve long from Djokovic. Still wants to get through this game as much as possible. Second serve coming up here for Musetti to take a look at, who wants to keep fighting as much as possible in this game. Second serve is a double fault. Mm-hmm. That's 2 double faults this game from Novak, which is going to be frustrating for Novak, but I'm not sure how Musetti is going to make the most of it. He's going to have to try and encourage himself to get into this next point if they get into a rally. Third all. Djokovic now into a service motion, goes into the net. His service deserting him at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
After being so strong at the end of that second set. Second serve. No, he's decided to bounce the ball some more as he usually does. There we go. Backhand in place from Musetti. Forehand Djokovic up the line. He's going to come in behind it. Puts away the backhand volley back behind. Musetti's going to try and get there, but the ball dies before he can get a racket underneath it. It's 40-30.
The melon was slightly cold, Nerlan.
He didn't even need to put it in the fridge. That's what the German weather is for you.
Indeed. Game point here, Novak, 40-30.
Yeah, not
2 sets, love and a break.
2 sets, love and a break, and hoping to maintain the break coming through this point if he can. First serve out wide, Djokovic comes back in for the serve volley, and Musetti can't reach it.
How about a Musetti retirement right now? And then he says, I did it for the fans.
I mean, I feel like Musetti's chance of making this a match is stronger here than it was when he retired at the French Open 3 years ago. I mean, in some ways, it probably worked out because otherwise we didn't get that Djokovic-Nadal classic that followed a couple of matches later.
Indeed.
Oh, well, maybe not so much of a classic for you, but...
but the third set, I think it is an all-time classic for sure.
Well, yeah.
Musetti's quite convinced about this return being out. Let's see.
Well, they're currently they're not showing anything at the minute.
No, I know.
Oh dear. Technology malfunction here.
We're still waiting.
It's always a relief when our own technology works better than Wimbledon's.
They're making a phone call.
Yeah.
Turn on the machine.
Quick, put a farthing in the meter.
Yeah, right.
Which is probably a joke that most of the audience won't get, but never mind. There's umpires making kind of weird, now discussing things with Djokovic. I should probably plug my headphones in, but
If they chat more, I'll turn up my TV. But for now, they're not talking.
yeah, Ghosty, farthing is old British currency, what we had before the 1970s.
Still waiting for the replay of this point. So it's the challenge.
Yeah, nobody really knows what's going on. Don't know if I can get subtitles.
I think it's coming. As I say, as soon as there's more conversation, I'll turn up my TV if there is more. She's still on the phone. The umpire's still on the phone.
Yeah, Hawkeye customer service is not being helpful right now. They've obviously decided to clock off early so they can prepare for the England match. For the Euros final.
Novak's going to ask the question. You're kidding me, right? That's all I heard him say. He said, "You're kidding me, right?" So
it's obviously gone against him. So his return must have been called out.
Okay. So the challenge apparently has... Oh, it is out. Yeah, you can see it's out.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've made that call based on the video replay rather than the challenge replay. But anyway, it has been called out, and Novak said we just can't show it. So let's imagine that they're telling the truth and the Hawkeye machine is working fine, but for some reason the TV screen bit isn't. Oh, look at that!
Magnificent drop shot from Musetti.
Yeah.
This is the second time this Wimbledon that actually the challenge system's broken on centre court. We had another one. I can't remember which match it was, but it was a few days ago where, they couldn't show the challenge on the screen. Might have been sort of about a week ago.
Okay.
A week goes by pretty fast in tennis. I can't believe that, it was a week ago we were halfway through Wimbledon.
No, yeah.
And not long before the tournament's conclusion, which Musetti's probably not rushing towards for him. Backhand slice from Musetti, drop shot. Novak can't pick it up, and it's 40 love.
There we go. 3 game points for the Italian.
And still making this third set close-ish. So Musetti 40 love. First serve out wide to the backhand of Djokovic. Now Musetti goes up the line. Djokovic goes to the Musetti backhand who slices it. Slice from Djokovic. He's going to come in behind the slice. Puts the volley away. Great drop volley from Djokovic. 40-15.
Yeah, that was exquisite from Novak.
That was a Djokovic special there. Just gets a short slice from Musetti and does whatever he wants with it. Comes in behind. Finishes at the point. I think Djokovic wants to be done now. Stay as fresh as possible for the Carlos rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Second serve for Musetti. Launches into it. Now goes up the tee. Backhand for Djokovic. Huge, great return from Novak. That was a Novak special.
Indeed.
The king of returning places it in the backhand corner. In the backhand corner. Nothing Musetti could do about it. 40-30. And suddenly things are looking a bit more precarious for Musetti in this game.
Indeed. 3-1 or 1-3, 40-30.
Great
serve like that would help.
Unreturned. And he's celebrating like he's won the set. Well, raising his arms anyway, but the rest of his body language is fairly lethargic and looks just like relief he got through that game.
Shall we just take a 1-minute break? We're going to have a look at your pre-tournament WTA power rankings.
We can do. Number 10, Mirandreva. Number 9, Madison Keys. Number 8 is Victoria Azarenka. Number 7, Marketa Vondrousova. Number 6, Ons Jabeur. Number 5, Jessica Pegula. Number 4, 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Iga Swiatek. Number 2, Aryna Sabalenka. And number 1, Elena Rybakina.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, yeah, but the only one that I think Damien was questioning before the tournament was Azarenka ahead of Keys. He was big on Keys' chances this year, and well, let's not forget she was a double break up on Paolini.
It has to be said, my power rankings were absolutely butchered by injuries. Sabalenka.
Yeah. I think the idea.
Oh no, it's not about me being right. That's not the point here. It's more like there was a whole thing that like it affected a lot of everyone's favorites.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But having that top 3, for example, still holds. I think the only question really was whether you were going to put Aryna or Elena there, and you can't factor in. We don't know about the shoulder injury that much, and even if we do know a bit about it, it's still difficult to sort of gauge. I know she made those pre-tournament comments, although that was on the Saturday, so that was obviously a few days after you made the power rankings. Yeah, it was just Madison Keys, I think, behind Azarenka. Listen, nobody. Well, I'm sure somebody has a ticket which shows that they predicted a Barbora Krejcikova Jasmine Paolini final.
Mark Petchie's claiming he did.
Did he?
I don't know if it was a joke or not.
Okay.
But I don't believe him either way. But the I think there was a scenario where I could have put Paolini in my power ranking instead of Andreeva. And in retrospect, I probably should have had a little bit more faith in Paolini. And I can say this now because I think she's actually my favorite to win tomorrow. There is no way I'd have put Krejcikova on it.
So you're tipping Paolini to win tomorrow?
I'm tipping Krejcikova to win tomorrow.
Oh, okay, yeah. Has Krejcikova in Nick's power ranking? Not sure, but she's been doing some question and answers on Twitter. I've seen both today and I think a couple of days, or maybe yesterday. Today and maybe a couple of days ago she did it.
She's clearly feeling a good mood at the minute.
Yeah.
Maybe exercising the Kudermetova demons in round 1 helped. Because they had a very similarly messy match in Stuttgart a few months back. That was her first match back from injury,
Krejcikova and who in Stuttgart?
Kudermetova.
Ah, yeah.
But Kudermetova won that one in Stuttgart.
And they had a messy one at Wimbledon, first round.
Mm.
Could have gone either way, that one. I think it was 7-5 maybe in the third, or was it a tiebreak that first round they had here at Wimbledon?
Djokovic gets the serve volley done. He's serve volleying a lot at the minute to move to 4-2. Krejcikova. Yeah, it's an interesting situation there because that match between Krejcikova and Kudermetova, I basically on the morning it was happening couldn't decide whether I wanted to watch that match or watch Svitolina Linette, and decided to go with Svitolina Linette. So I didn't see it, but from what I heard, even after the result of the match, even though Krejcikova came through it, you weren't predicting her to win Wimbledon.
No. I did watch it. At least the third, so it was 7-5 in the third. No, I was particularly keen on this first round clash for Barbora. I say watched it, of course, I mean on my TV. But it was one I had my eye on. I might even have tuned in during the second set. And I think Krejcikova was up in the third, was up a break on 1 or 2 occasions, and Kudermetova kept pegging her back. But yeah, she made a move at 5-all, I think it was, and then managed to serve out. But yeah, that could have gone either way, and there we go.
I thought she was starting to look good in round 3 because I did watch some of that match against Bujash, and then it turned out Bujash was injured. But I thought Krejcikova's serve and forehand is looking good, and she's hitting through Bujash, but the move, whatever the injury was, probably didn't help. And then the 4th round against Collins was struggling. physically.
Yeah.
But again, I thought Krejcikova looked good. She didn't look at that much under threat from Collins on serve. She was in she was serving really well. And then I think the Ostapenko match kind of clinched it for me. It was like, no, Barbora's looking good. She's going to give Rybakina a headache.
Well, she more than gave her a headache.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to win the match, but I don't know if anyone was. But I kind of noticed that as Musetti comes through that game, by the way, with a forehand winner from the mid-court.
No, I think Novak is challenging here, so we'll see.
Okay.
It landed in, so Novak gets to that point.
Okay. So yeah, I think maybe Djokovic's shot was called out.
No, it was Musetti's slice that just clipped the line, and Djokovic challenged it, lost the challenge, and so from 30-15, it's now 40-15.
Slice from Djokovic here, backhand sliced by Musetti, the backhand of Djokovic. Forehand drop shot from Musetti is too good. Now he holds the game, 3-4.
Indeed, he does.
Once picking up a little bit, but yeah, with Rybakina, I was kind of surprised that no one was really hyping up and seeing her title as inevitable. And maybe there's reasons for that. And obviously they were being founded by the result from the semi-final. But I was like, surely at this point, this feels like if it was Iga at Roland Garros, we would be having a very different conversation.
Yeah. I mean, the stats coming up on the screen yesterday, particularly at 5-1, I think it was in the first set, we're sort of comparing Rybakina's win-loss record at Wimbledon to Steffi Graf and Navratilova and some of the other greats. And I think done so with the expectation that she would be adding to that stat.
That's how the BBC coverage was doing it. BBC coverage was already talking about her, like, potentially building something special.
Right, exactly. I mean, you win 2 Wimbledon in 3 years. It's not bad. It's got a long way to go before you're, winning 5, 6, 7 or whatever some of those greats have done. But you are wondering 2 Wimbledon in 3 years, and then she wins another one. Then you are putting her amongst the Wimbledon greats. But you lose to Barbora Krejcikova in that semi-final. She did, and we're back to not quite square one because she's obviously got her one title. But yeah, although this is an interesting stat that I see from Swana here. At least one of Swiatek, Sabalenka, or Rybakina has made the semis of 10 consecutive Grand Slams.
Yeah, well, that's where we're at the minute. Like this group is super consistent. I think Damien was talking about this on the stream yesterday. Like, just because they don't necessarily win everything, they don't necessarily win everything, but they are always in the mix. Whereas everyone else is kind of they don't peak as often, and so they are always you will never rule them out of winning anything. They will always make it. So
Musetti's enjoying the drop shot right now.
Yeah. And it's got him some results. He's got this opening point. But he's got to get it right, though, because he knows that it has to be that good for Djokovic not to chase it down.
Yeah.
Great first serve from Djokovic, though. +1 volley. Put away. There you go. 15-all. Gathering momentum. Obviously, Djokovic trying to put himself one game away from closing this match out. Centre court awaits. Obviously, they've seen this many, many times over the years. Djokovic goes up the tee with the first serve, which is unreturnable. Absolutely brilliant serving there. Djokovic and Stefan Djokovic approves.
Indeed.
You can see his kids are visibly running out of energy. It's probably past their bedtime. It's been an exhausting week for them. First serve from Djokovic is up the tee, then goes for the +1 forehand, which is in the Musetti fine corner. Djokovic lifts that up and wide, 30-all. Musetti did well to keep himself at the point, and Djokovic gives him the error. And now we're at 30-all. Chance for Musetti here? Question mark. Coach hopes so. Djokovic is hoping it's not. He's going to want to put this away, and he's trying to give himself as much time as possible before he serves, which he does. Goes up the tee, misses it. So second serve at 30-all, one of the tensest times in tennis to have that possibility. Crowd look unexpectedly. We look unexpectedly. Djokovic now serving. Goes out wide. Forehand from Musetti up the line. Backhand cross-court from Djokovic is just too good. Musetti's attempted pickup almost made the court, but didn't. It's over the baseline. It's 40-30 Djokovic, and maybe that little bit of jeopardy for Djokovic. We're moving out of that zone now. Djokovic did the right thing leaving it. Looks very happy about that. But he does recognise that he may take a little bit of a risk with that one. It was very close to the line. First serve at the tee from Djokovic is way too good. He holds 5-3, and Lorenzo Musetti is now going to have to serve to stay in the set and avoid a double break. John, if you're saying something, you're on mute. I saw your lips move, but no sound coming through. We'll see what's happening there with John. First serve from Musetti's out wide. Great return from Djokovic. Oh, and the +1 forehand. I had something from John there. That's good. The +1 forehand from Musetti is long off a very deep return from Djokovic, and it's love 15. There you go. You're probably speaking, John. You probably thought I was ignoring you.
No. I was just waiting for my moment to speak. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, I've got two microphones, both of which are actually very, very low on battery, but this one is a little bit higher than the other. The other one's just run out of battery, but fingers crossed this one will last.
Well, the
minutes.
battery life of this microphone is definitely not as high as that looped forehand from Musetti. It was very much uncontrolled, well out of court. Love 30. Djokovic is 2 points away from this match.
Indeed.
He's closing in for the kill here is Novak Djokovic. Great first serve from Musetti. Even better return from Novak. Musetti returns just on the baseline. Now we've got a forehand from Musetti, which he dumps in the net. Love 40. And nothing Musetti could do about that. Djokovic has 3 match points on the Musetti serve. How long can Musetti fight off the inevitable?
Yes.
Crowd is willing Musetti on to try and make this competitive. Goes out wide. Great serve, which he comes into the net for the serve volley. Is that the first time Musetti's done a serve volley this match? It feels like a while if it's been the case. He's not done it as often as Novak by any means.
That's for sure.
So now, down match point, he tries the serve volley and goes, oh, wait, that worked. First serve out wide. The forehand of Djokovic. Great return again. Musetti somehow finds the +1. Djokovic slides into that. Oh, Musetti decides to drop volley it. Djokovic tries to reach the drop volley. It doesn't work. Doesn't get over the net. 30-40. Musetti just deciding to go for broke down match point. High risk tennis there.
So 2 have been saved. 1 to go.
Third one to save here for Lorenzo Musetti. He's probably feeling a little bit more good about himself. Maybe a little bit more relaxed. He's got nothing to lose at this point. He's a bit more back in this match. First serve wide from Musetti. He was going out wide again to the Djokovic backhand. Pushed it too wide. Too much pace on it. Didn't drop in the box. He's got a second serve now to defend this match point. Comes off the line. Djokovic's return is long.
And the second serve from Musetti was very close to going out.
Again, just taking high risk on that serve. Kicks it up, and Djokovic struggles with the way it comes off the line. Deuce. And Musetti's already into his next service routine. He wants to keep things moving fast. Goes up out wide. Great serve from Musetti. Goes for the +1 back behind to the Djokovic forehand. Into the net from Djokovic, who's going, what just happened?
4 points in a row for the Italian. And from staring down the barrel, 3 match points, it's now advantage Musetti, but I think there's going to be a challenge here.
Yeah, there's a challenge. Is he challenging?
No, maybe not. So game point Musetti.
Up the tee from Musetti now goes to the backhand cross court, backhand Djokovic up the line. Forehand cross court from Musetti. Djokovic's going to lift the forehand of the plate. Musetti's going to go inside out. The forehand hits the winner. It did clip the tape, but he's still in the match. 5-4. Djokovic will now be serving for it, but Musetti deciding that he wasn't going to go down without a fight, and probably that's the most energetic thing I've seen from him since the start of the set.
Indeed, Ashley. Thank you very much for your support today. Yeah, well, from Love 40, I thought we were done. I still think we are. It's just another few more points.
Musetti's given us an extra 5 minutes on this match or so.
Yeah.
And he'll have acquitted himself well there. I think he'll feel pretty good about himself after getting himself out of that game. And there wasn't a lot Djokovic could do about that. Musetti just decided to go into full flow.
Yeah, maybe abandon, as you suggested.
How dangerous can he be on this return? That's the question. I think that's going to come down to how well Djokovic serves here.
Yeah, that's the thing. He might not have any choice. If Novak serves like we know Novak can, especially in these circumstances, if Novak serves like he did pretty much throughout the entire match against Rune, if he serves like he has done for large parts of this match, Musetti, is not much he can do about it. If he gets a few second serves to look at and takes a risk on those second serves, well, things could get interesting.
Right, well, let's see what Musetti can get out of this game as Djokovic finally gets into his service routine, puts the first serve into the net. There's that second serve you were talking about, John. Musetti might get a look at that.
He's going down the tee again on this second serve. There's no way he's going at the forehand.
Okay. Body serve?
No, maybe, but he's not going at the forehand. There you go.
Yeah, you're right. Backhand from play from Musetti, forehand up the line from Djokovic. The backhand of Musetti. Oh my word, he massively hit through that one. And now he's going for the forehand, big forehand inside out for the mid-court. Love 15.
Love 15 indeed. Really good defense, though, from Djokovic to keep that point alive. But it was that huge backhand down the line that really opened up the point for him, and he put it away.
I don't know if Musetti did a backhand that big.
There was one winner he hit around the time he broke at the beginning of the second set that was like a lot of people have been purring about on social media, understandably so. Love 15 anyway.
There's another one there. First serve from Djokovic. Oh, he's missed it. Tried to go out wide, but it's long and it was a wrong side of the service line. So there's another second serve, and it's a second serve, and Musetti's going to want to try and attack it, which he does. Jumping backhand return. Djokovic +1 over the baseline. Love 30. What is happening? I mean, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but Djokovic is probably going, hang on a minute, I've just lost the last like 6 or 7 points. Yeah, it'd be 7 points.
Yeah, 7. Excuse me.
The energy levels are higher on court than they are in the commentary box right now, but we keep going. Mind you, Djokovic is kind of sapping as much as he can. Again, he's trying to take as much time as he can get away with before this serve, which goes, oh, great serve out wide. And backhand cross-court from Djokovic. Musetti's going to try and scrub it and play. We've got an overhead for Djokovic, which he puts right back at Musetti, who lobs him. Got another Djoko smash coming up, puts that one away, 15-30.
15-30, indeed. Yeah, the first one wasn't great, but Musetti, I think, could have done something with that smash, actually. Not the last one, of course, but the one before. Instead, he decided to just loft it back again, and Novak put that second one away with consummate ease, so 15-30.
Djokovic will be feeling pretty good about that. He knows he needs a first serve here to keep Musetti pushed back. Second serve's not going to do the job right now. First serve up the tee. Great serve from Djokovic up the tee, and it's 30-all. Musetti got a racket on it. That was about all he could do. It was practically an ace.
Yeah. So
Musetti's already ready, but Djokovic is disturbed. I think crowd is bothering him, possibly. Decides he wants to reset. Clock seemed to stop as well. Novak using the crowd to give him the time that he wants. First serve is wide. Tried to go up tee again, but he put it wide. Clearly. No Hawkeye needed for that one. second serve, which we're still waiting for on our screens. Now we're getting there as we go out wide. Great return from Lorenzo Musetti. He did. Djokovic did what you told him not to, and he went for out wide to the forehand, maybe to change things up. But Musetti read it and punched it cross court for a winner on the return. We have a break back point for Lorenzo Musetti. Here we go.
Indeed. Musetti there turning into Andre Agassi to hit that return. And yeah, break point.
30-40. Djokovic, great serve out wide. He's going to come in behind it. Goes cross court back to the backhand of Musetti. Punches that. Musetti's going to try and pass it with a slice. Now he lifts up the lob. He's got no control over that. No, it lands in on the corner. Backhand Djokovic. Short. Musetti's going to get a drop shot. No, sliced forehand. Backhand up the line from Musetti. Djokovic cross court. Musetti cross court. Right into the net. Oh, the opportunity was there. He fought so hard at that point. Musetti's down on his haunches because he knows that was a huge missed opportunity there. Oh,
so well to stay in the point. And then there was
he fought so hard to stay in it, but he couldn't take control of it.
No.
He was there. He could have done.
Yep. The easiest shot of all possibly is the one he missed.
Yeah. It usually is in tennis, isn't it?
Can often be when you fight and fight and fight, and then you somehow miraculously stay in the point.
First serve from Djokovic. Musetti slices into play. Backhand Djokovic is going to be at the net. He's going to try and put the volley away. Now Musetti's going to cross court. Oh, just long. Went for the pass right by Novak. It's another match point for Djokovic, this time on his serve.
Indeed.
Well, don't worry, don't worry, little Miss Djokovic. Your dad is probably about to win and you can finally go to bed. Advantage Djokovic. Musetti waiting. Seeing if he can save this match point. Depends if this is a first or second serve. First serve is good. Block back return from Musetti. Inside out forehand from Djokovic. Backhand Musetti to Djokovic. Forehand. Doesn't need to worry about it. The backhand is long from Musetti. The crowd are on their feet. Ladies and gentlemen, Novak Djokovic is back in the Wimbledon final. And it's the rematch that once Sinner went out, it was the rematch we wanted.
So it's Novak's 10th Wimbledon final. If I'm right, he's won 7 of the previous 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it feels like there are boos for Novak.
Not a fan of the violin celebrations.
Yeah.
The crowd, not me. I'm okay with them. I think they're fun.
Anyway, this story seems to be running and running. And one thing that is running is Novak Djokovic into his 10th Wimbledon final. He's lost 2 of them both to Andy Murray, was it?
No,
Andy
Murray
Murray.
Alcaraz.
Sorry, say again. Oh, Alcaraz, of course. Yeah, 1 to Andy Murray, 1 to Alcaraz. Yeah.
It's a point of frustration for me that he never lost 1 to Federer.
Right, yeah. So, off Musetti goes, walking off court, having had an excellent run, of course, got to the final at Queen's, made the semi-finals here. It has been a rather miraculous grass court season for him in many ways, certainly surprising to some extent. But Novak Djokovic, really the story again was about him and his straight sets win. There were some doubts and probably some possible excitement about a lengthy match when we had that early break from Musetti at the beginning of the second set. But for me, there were 2 or 3 issues today. First of all, Musetti did indeed raise his level in that sort of period towards the end of the first set when he did also break back there, although it immediately got broken again, and the beginning of the second set. And we saw some really Hollywood stuff from him at the beginning of that second set to pull out that early lead. But it was just going to be, can he sustain this for... The thing is, you've got to sustain it for not just a set, not just an hour. You've got to do it for 2 to 3 hours over 5 sets against Novak Djokovic. And it's just almost impossible for anyone to do, with the exception of possibly Carlos Alcaraz last year and a peak Andy Murray 10 years ago. And and it's just not possible. And then there's also some of the dynamics that were going on. I didn't like what I was seeing for the first 5 or 6 games, with lots of slices from Lorenzo that were just not doing any damage whatsoever. And we're going to hear some words from Novak now.
An entertaining match, but the stats do not lie. You're through to your 37th Grand Slam
37th Grand Slam final, indeed.
And your 10th here at Wimbledon.
2/3 success rate, of course.
37th Grand
Yeah.
Slam final and your 10th here at Wimbledon. Just sum up what we've gone through over the last 3 hours.
Well, I've said it many times. You know, Wimbledon has always been a childhood tournament, childhood dream for me. You know, to play it, to win it. I've said this story many times, but I think it's worth repeating it. You know, I was a 7-year-old boy in Serbia, watching the bombs fly over my head and dreaming of being in the most important court in the world, which is here, Center Court of Wimbledon. Constructing Wimbledon trophy out of any material that I had in the room, and watching myself in the mirror and telling myself I'll be a Wimbledon champion one day. So the visualization part was very, very strong, but obviously that wasn't enough to make it. You know, I had a tremendous support, of course, from my family members. You know, my wife has been with me for many, many years. You know, now my children has been an incredible journey. It has been an incredible journey, so I try not to take it for granted. Obviously, every single time I find myself on this unique court, you know, I really try to enjoy it, you know, but obviously during the match, it's business time, you know, it's trying to do your work, trying to outplay your opponent, and you know, I'm obviously very, very satisfied, very pleased and happy to be in another finals, but you know, I don't want to stop here. Hopefully I'll get my hands on that trophy on Sunday.
What are your thoughts on the match, Nick? I mean, you're alongside me for most of it. Did it have a sort of an inevitable feeling once Novak broke back in that second set?
Yeah. Not entirely inevitable. I think Musetti did well. I think the tiebreak, I think Novak winning a tiebreak was when the moment it became really inevitable, to be honest. Like, I think Novak shifting the momentum in the way he did in that middle second set was significant, but the reality was that he was quite comfortable with what Musetti was throwing at him, and Musetti wasn't. Ironically, I think Musetti, if he was playing the tennis that he played in the last 2 games and he managed to sustain it for a set, this would be a very different match. But Musetti was trying to be a little bit too clever with Novak at points, and not necessarily using what explosivity he has. So nothing, and so that, I think that's kind of how it went. So once the second set tiebreak went the way that it did, it was pretty obvious that this was going to be Novak's day, and he was always going to be a heavy favourite for this. And we've got the final we expected.
Yeah, indeed. A little tweet here from Mario. Carlos and Novak are the first pair to meet in 2 straight Wimbledon finals since Djokovic himself and Roger Federer did so in 2014, 2015. So Novak has just said he would like to be getting his hands on the main prize, the first prize, of course, the trophy on the right on Sunday. Will he be able to do so? Well, make sure you tune in and hit like and subscribe, because we will be bringing you that match as well, of course, as the women's final tomorrow with Nick. So, yeah, lots to look forward to. Any final comments, either one today or anything related to tennis?
Just that I'm very excited for this women's final that's happening tomorrow, not just because I'm commentating on it, but because I think it's going to be a really fun match between 2 players who have fantastic ball control and quality, and it's going to be fun seeing who's going to bring the ultimate level.
Well, big thanks for you, Nick, for joining me today.
Thanks for letting me have you on.
And for the rest of you, you know the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.